Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. How have you guys been? How are you? It's been a couple of days. Sorry about that. Nothing to get into. How was your day? Oh my God, we had a great day here in Michigan. I'm a little lethargic today. You ever have a day that just feels like Sunday? And I get it, today was Sunday, but it just felt like a Sunday. Beautiful fall afternoon here in Michigan. Um, Warm enough. I could have used another 10 degrees, but good enough to be outside. We were staining the deck. Well, not staining. We were resealing the deck. Ugh. You buy that stuff, right? And it says 5 years will last 5 years. And I don't think they tested that crap in Michigan, because here in Michigan that shit lasts maybe 3 if you're pushing it, and you got to redo it just from all of the snow all year long. So we did that. We had a little bit more to do. Just ran out of sealant, and we'll be doing that next weekend, which is supposed to be nice. How do I know it's supposed to be nice? Because my wife follows the weather like I follow politics. I'm fairly certain at this point, Lady Monkey is a certified meteorologist, and she tells me it's supposed to be nice next weekend. So we'll be doing that. Getting to 32 at night here, Monkey. Oh my God, we've had a couple of nights that have gotten close to freezing, but I think we've only even had one frost advisory overnight so far. So it's getting there. It's coming. I always hope that snow at least holds off until after Halloween. I remember one year, the kids for Halloween, it snowed. The first snow of the year was on Halloween. And so over their costumes, they're wearing their costumes to go out trick-or-treating, and nobody can see what the kids are because they're all in snowsuits and shit. And I always hope it just holds off for the kids so they can have a nice, still cold, but non-snowy Halloween. Leaves are falling though. Have I told you guys how many fucking trees are in my yard? Oh my God. The middle little, she loves the leaves falling, because last year she was bored. And I'm like, I got an idea. I have leaf piles outside. So I took the kid outside and I threw in her leaf pile. You ever want to have fun? You just cheap fun with kids? Throw them into a leaf pile. Make sure there's nothing in there that's going to hurt them. You don't want sticks or rocks in there. Make sure it's just leaves, but toss them in there. It's like a ball pit. They'll play for hours, lots of hours. 70 winning points in that game, Monkey. Oh, you're talking about the Denver game? Yeah, like I said, I watched the highlights of the Bolts game. I cannot believe the Chargers won that game. And I cannot believe that they have not fired that coach out there in San Diego yet. I'd like the guy from what I have seen of him as a person. And he's probably a decent, coordinator. But he makes some bad decisions as a coach. Chargers are up by 4 points. They are on their own 20-yard line, which means they have 80 yards to go. It's 4th and 1. 2 minutes left in the game. And instead of kicking the ball away, I think it was even less than 2 minutes left in the game at that point. Instead of kicking it away, they go for it on 4th and 1 and don't make it, giving the Vikings 20 yards to go. And the Vikings somehow screwed it up. But they gave the Vikings so many chances to win that game. But I didn't watch anything else. I know the Chiefs won just because I saw the picture. You can usually tell when you watch the highlights like I do, you can usually tell who won by who's highlighted in the thumbnail. Whichever team is highlighted smiling, they won. So I know some of them did, but I know some of the wins. But the Chiefs buried the Bears, didn't they? Also know that because it was on Twitter. It's one of the first things I saw. Let's talk about what else I saw on Twitter. Holy shit. Here's the first thing that I clicked on Twitter. This is true. I get on there and I see my little side thing. The way I usually go to Twitter is I do this. I get on, I check any messages that I have, and then I look over at the bar to see what's trending. And I see lesbians is trending. And I thought, why are lesbians trending? And I click on it. And see, guys, this is one of those times I tell you that I don't mean to see porn on Twitter. I really don't. But I was like, why are lesbians trending? What did they do now? And the first thing I get is a lesbian sex scene. I was like, oh, yeah, let's just ignore that and go back to Twitter. Like, I should have known on that one. That one's not even a hard one to predict. But in many ways, guys, I am naive about stuff like that. Because I see trending, and I just think, oh, something must have happened. There must have been living in the political world. You know, the lesbians pissed off the trans people. The gays and lesbians are fighting, something like that, right? They came out with a new gay girl haircut, something like that. And no, it's like, no, here, cooch. Like, while I like cooch, I really do. That's not what I was looking for right now. So I pop off of that, and I go through the list, and I see that Nazis are trending. Nazis are, and not just trending a little bit, trending. And I thought, oh, okay, I can't wait to see what happened here. I would not have guessed this. I would not have guessed. And I've thought about how I wanted to do this story, how I wanted to cover it. Some of you already know, but for those of you who don't, that headline on this video, the title, the thumbnail, none of that shit is fake. That is not clickbait at all. It's not even. I know it seems like it. Like, no, it couldn't be. They weren't cheering Nazis. Well, you know what? Should we just watch it first? Let's start it that way. I'm going to show you guys a video. Oh shit, where'd it go? Oh, it's this link. I'm going to show you guys a video that we'll have to give some context to afterwards. But I want you guys to see it because it's important. Now, it is a little quiet on my side, so I'm guessing it's going to be on yours. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're only going to watch to about here. So I'm going to be quiet and let it play. I'm not going to interrupt it until I get to the point I want to. So you might need to turn it up. And if you do, please do so now.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98.
All right, there it is. Now, why is this important? Why is that part important? Well, that brings me to the article that I read about this story. Now, I caught the headline. It's what really grabbed my attention and why I want to kind of highlight this one. It says Nazi-linked veteran ovation during Zelensky's Canada visit. And I just want to read this. I want to read it because it's important to the rest of the story. Okay, so just hang in there. Hang in there. I'll get to it. I promise. For those of you like, I don't get it. I promise I'll get there. Nuts, thanks for dropping the link, sweetie. Let me get that pin there. There we go. All right, so Ottawa, Ontario, a ranking Canadian parliamentarian is apologizing to Jewish communities around the world for a blunder during Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit that led to lawmakers honoring a veteran accused of belonging to a Nazi division in World War II. It's worse than just a Nazi division. We'll get there. It followed demands by Canadian Jewish organizations Sunday for an apology after it was revealed. No, there should be no apology. People should be stepping down over this shit. And I'm sorry, let me get back to that. Apology after it was revealed members of parliament across party lines awarded a 98-year veteran on Friday with a standing ovation shortly after Zelensky addressed Canada's House of Commons. By the way, he cheered along. Zelensky was cheering along. Nobody's playing up that part. It's all about the Canadians. Canadians, what happened there to you? You guys should be embarrassed, and thank you, because for once, I don't think that our president is the worst person on the international stage right now. But Zelensky stood up and cheered for this, and don't tell me that little motherfucker didn't know. Don't tell me that little motherfucker didn't know. We'll get to that too. I want to reread what he said. I need this part first. Yaroslav Hunka stood and appeared to salute from the I wonder what kind of salute he did from the public gallery when he was recognized by House Speaker Anthony Rota, who introduced Hunka as a Ukrainian war hero from his political district. Now, this is the important part. This is my introduction to this story. I hadn't seen the video yet. All I've seen is that Canada is honoring Nazis, and I read this. And this is what my jaw dropped when I read this. We have here in the chamber today a Ukrainian-Canadian veteran from the Second World War who fought for Ukraine independence against the Russians. And that's where I went, what? Wait a minute, what? All right. For those of you who don't know history, and I don't blame you guys for not knowing history. You should. You really should. But You guys we're the common man out here. We all have our own interests. I like history. You might like trucks. You might like football. You might like, anything. So I get it if the common man doesn't really know about history. These are the leaders of our free world out there right now. And why did this stop me? For those of you who don't know, the people fighting the Russians in World War II were the fucking Nazis. That's not even questionable. As soon as they heard that, they all should went, what? Wait, did you say fought the Russians in World War II? As fucked up as the Russians are, they were on our side fighting Hitler. Fought in the Second World War against the Russians. What the fuck? How did you not catch that? How did none of you standing up there cheering like fucking retards not catch that you're cheering for a Nazi when he was fighting Russians in World War II? There is literally no excuse for this. None. But my Ukraine, right? Yeah, exactly. And I already know. I haven't even gone looking, but I already know. And you actually, you know what? You can see it here. There's going to be excuses made. Nazi linked. Not Nazi linked. This motherfucker was part of the SS. Not just a Nazi. The SS. Cryptic, thank you. He was only from the 4th Waffen Grenadier Division of the SS. Let's blame Mickey. That French-Canadian hobbit should have stopped this. 100%. Mickey, go talk to your leaders, please. They are retarded. Oh, God, thank you for that, Cryptic. He was part of the fucking SS. Look, German soldiers, I don't give them any out. I was just following orders. All right. Maybe they would have literally killed you. But I still have problems with that, okay? What was done over there? But when it comes to the SS, no. No excuse. We are talking the worst of the worst. Cleaning duties, you pointed out. Now you have to clean the ovens. I will do my best there, sir. Oh my God. Oh, thank God he's here. We got to laugh at this together. My friend Jack, how the fuck are you, my friend? That would have worked so much better if he answered right then. Jack, are you with us?
Yeah, I am now.
There we go.
How things running slow as shit. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm here and laughing at Nazis and Canadians and Ukrainians, so I'm happy.
That seems to be redundant on all accounts these days.
Did you see that fucking statement that was read on the fucking parliament floor and they all cheered? Not one of them caught what that meant.
Oh yeah, fighting the Russians during World War II. Wait a minute.
All right, chat. Let's play a game. Who were the Allied powers in World War II? Anybody know? It's pretty simple. We were all taught this in what? 3rd, 4th grade? Somewhere around there?
Yeah. I mean, this is not a difficult one.
You don't have to get just the main 4, the one that because, Canada, Australia, they were fighting too and don't get enough credit for it, honestly.
Yeah.
But the main powers were the United States, Great Britain, France, part of it at least, and Russia. That was the Allied powers who were fighting Japan, Italy, and Germany. Look, the Russians were shitbags. There's no getting around that. They really were. They allied with Hitler for a while. And they get a lot more shit for that than France does, who also kind of did. But they actually were allied with them and made deals to break up Poland together. But the fighting that happened there in Ukrainian areas, Russians were fighting the Germans. And in this case, the SS. That's my favorite part of the whole story. Not only were they saluting a Nazi, they were saluting a member of the SS. How do you make that mistake as a political leader? If they had no idea, I could give it to. If all they knew was that he fought in World War II and they were honoring him, all right. But they knew who he was fighting against. I mean, that's a giant red, blue, and yellow flag right there.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, hug, yay, Ukraine, fighting Russians. That's all they thought about. They didn't dig. These people who spend their whole fucking lives doing nothing but looking for Nazis were cheering one. They gave a standing ovation to a Nazi.
Yeah, one of the worst kinds. One of the SS.
Seriously, for those of you who don't know your history, look up the SS. These are the worst of the worst. And yeah, that's what the Canadians were doing today to honor Volodymyr Zelensky. Is they gave $9 billion to that little weasel?
Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I saw Trudeau. I think it was 2 days ago, maybe it was yesterday, but giving an impassioned speech about how we got to give more. He called it a moral imperative to make sure that Ukraine wins. All right. Why aren't you committing troops? Wouldn't if you really want to beat them, and it's a moral thing, right? We have to do this. Shouldn't troops be involved?
You think so, but Castro doesn't want to.
Is this Catholicism where you just believe, with money? Sorry, Catholics. I'm sorry. That was cheap. That was a cheap shot. Oh, I feel bad.
Well, you could say Jew on that one. I mean, you'd get.
That one's I could have went that way. You're right. Anyhow,
the Catholics could take it. They're pretty tough
enough,
people. Yeah. They'll be like, man, you're not really talking about. You're talking about the Lutherans,
right?
Thank you, Evolved Potato. If he was just part of the Wehrmacht, the normal army, I could care less. But he was part of the SS, the literal military detachment of the Nazi Party. You have to be a member of the party to be in the SS. Yeah, yep. Yeah, you had to be exceptionally committed.
Thank you, Cryptic. 600 million Canadian dollars, so about 5 US cents. Still more than that little Zelensky motherfucker needs. In the little money laundering piece of shit. I saw the other day, look, Ukraine, they're actually spending this money on the war effort. All right. Can we see the receipts?
No.
They won't show us the receipt. There is no accountability for the 100 billion plus that we've given. None at all. If you send more than $600 on several different kinds of apps and stuff, government forms get filled out about what you're doing. Yeah. We give $100 billion, making them the third biggest by money military in the entire world. And we have zero accountability on that money. None. Nothing.
Well, they were required to pass Afghanistan after we left all the cool equipment there.
True, yeah.
Real fast though. Thank you, Uncle Adolf. If only they had let me in art school, then they wouldn't have gotten so many lampshades and bars of soap. Jesus Christ, dude. It's amazing what he produces at Happy Valley.
It's true. It really is. Ebony, thank you so much. Wait, you actually feel bad about something? Who, me? Occasionally. It happens. Occasionally, even I think my jokes go too far. I mean, they're still funny, but they go too far.
That's why you keep me around, so I can be like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, you'll notice you and I, we don't do that to each other. We might do it to ourselves, but I've never been like, Jack, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's pretty rare when one of us is like, dude, dial that down a little.
Yeah, no, have we ever done that to each other?
Probably once or twice. It's rare.
I think we might have said we need to step back, but in those cases, I mean, I was generally talking about both of us.
Yeah, I mean,
that when it's me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I've been on this show, 4 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
It's probably happened like twice the entire time where I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, you have done that before to me. Okay, but even then, it's not like you're like, hey, you need to stop. You're like, dude.
Yeah, like wow, that's impressive. I think the first time I actually used your first name.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, wow. But yeah, it's not a common occurrence, mostly because we're both hilarious.
Indeed. I was thinking about my first name the other day. total aside. Just talking with Mike Harlow, and it's funny how when I talk, he always calls me Ranting Monkey, the whole thing. And I'm like, you could just call me Frank. Everybody knows my first name, or just Monkey. But some people, when I talk, they're so formal and use my entire made-up name.
It's a moniker, like, you know, an honorarium, like governor.
Joe, Jesus, Joe Goebbels, thank you so much. Motherfucker, quiet part out loud. Don't make me choke on my own spit, dude. Holy shit. Thank you for the donation, Mr. Joe. I'm not providing a screen.
He died choked on his own phlegm.
Yes, indeed. Eagle says, Francis, again, there's only few people that can call me Francis, and I would answer it. Honestly, can anybody guess in this audience who would call me Francis and I'd be all right with it? Anybody got a guess on that one?
Stargazer.
Are you psychic?
You said anybody could guess. So.
Oh. What? I didn't know it was.
I can't get away with that.
No. It's only how do I like maternal figures. Even my wife would. I think it would be my wife calling me that would be just really weird. Her mom calling me that when I've said something, you know, inappropriate. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, she'd put her hand on her hips and go, Francis.
Yes, absolutely.
Apron. Yeah.
I was going to say Lady Monkey. She can. It's just that I'd be like, what? Why the fuck did you call me that? Alan, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Hope you're well. Your wife, kid, star, and the grand. No, actually, it just sounds weird from certain people. It's got to be somebody that that there's some kind of motherly quality to that's not my wife. Does that make sense?
It's not a fetish, guys. Totally
not my kids either. Mm-mm. No, you know what it comes from? The only time really hearing it growing up was my mom admonishing me. I'd get all three names when that happened.
Not a weird mommy fetish. Nope.
It's not a fetish. I don't want to bang people who do it. Anyhow.
Trying to convince me or yourself there.
You must have to do something really bad for your wife to. My wife is more likely to go, Frank, not Francis, because that's not something she says.
Yeah, she wouldn't say it disappointed. She'd say it mildly irritated, like, you're going to get us in trouble. They're going to ask us to leave.
It's not even that. It's rarely that. It's I embarrass her sometimes, and she's not worried about, you know, it's getting kicked out or anywhere. She's just, you shouldn't say that out loud. It's more about her personal embarrassment than anything that's actually going on. Cryptic, thank you so much. Justin Timberlake has volunteered to fight alongside the Ukrainian forces. His first task, Crimea River. Wow.
Second task, bring the sexy back.
Bring the sexy back. Anyway.
Thank you, Alan, who says, hello, guys. Hey, Alan, hope you're doing well. Appreciate it, man.
She's more likely to be frank with him. Stop it.
That's a play on words is what that is.
Nut says, I think I should be depressed, or I should feel depressed. No. It's a compliment.
It's a creepy one, but
it's a weird compliment from me. It really is. And I hope you understand that. But yeah, nobody calls me that.
It's a weird compliment. I hope you understand that. What?
These people should know me well enough to understand what that sentence meant, Jack.
I know. And it's sad that we all do understand.
Exactly. Hey, we've been together a long time.
I know. You know, it is what it is.
I just want to keep this creepy motherfucker on screen because it amuses me that the guy that introduced the Nazi looks like he probably could have served with him.
Yeah, that dude looks like if they're gonna do a Robespierre movie, he should play him. Like, hello.
Somebody should take a screenshot of this and just put an SS uniform on this guy.
Oh yeah,
it would work. He looks like there's a Nazi he looks like. I can't remember which one. One of Hitler's inner circle.
Yeah, one of the administrator types, like Goebbels or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one. And I believe he's this little short guy.
Little mousy dude.
Exactly. You go, he looks like an SS officer. He absolutely does. And thank you for whoever pointed that out, because I keep forgetting not everybody likes history. So yeah, for the record, SS, it's not just that they were Germans or that we call them Nazis because they were the Nazi powers there, and they literally had to be part of the Nazi party to be part of the SS.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about, oh, they fought with the Germans, or as Politico put it, Nazi linked. They were actual fucking Nazis. This dude,
Yeah.
they brought an actual Nazi into their parliament and cheered for him.
Well, the German American Bund used to have rallies in New York, so
I hear you, but
there were a lot of supporters at first before the whole Pearl Harbor incident. When people were like, "Oh, time to shut up."
but 80 years later, we don't bring him up into the House or the Senate and cheer for him.
Well, Canada's always been a few years behind. They're still wearing Canadian tuxedos,
Fair
what we would
enough.
call jean jackets.
I
I think they just got the mullet like 5 years ago.
Thank you, understatement. Hail, Mr. Francis, ranting monkey. It even sounds weird when I say my name. And I don't hate my name, for the record. I'm not ashamed of it or anything. The man I got it from was a great man, and I wear it with pride. It's just not something that I answer to very often. Hail, Mr. Francis, ranting monkey, king of the Andals and the first men, gruff of demeanor and lacks of spine, literally, not figuratively. Consumer of ranch and foil of the staircase. Thank you so very much. I like that.
That's
should be
true.
in
The
a-
only reason your staircase hasn't conquered the world is because you fall on it
I keep it
constantly.
down, man. I'm doing the Lord's work out here.
That's true.
And in 80 years, the Canadian Parliament's going to bring my staircase in front of them and cheer for it.
Yeah, Jack's gone too far. Look, I've been to Canada several times. I'm sorry, the trends are real slow getting there. I think it's because they get murdered on the Highway of Tears a lot. Too soon.
No. Athena's Sigil says both. I'm old stock Canadian. Modern Canada is woke and a horrible place to live, but I'm stuck here. Well,
Yeah,
look, I don't blame Canadians I blame some Canadians for the way Canada is. Kind of like I don't blame all Californians for the way California is. Just most of them, because they're the ones who make the decisions.
yeah. Isn't like Vancouver there, California?
I think all of them is that like California, except for that weird French speaking place.
Oh, Quebec sucks. I'm sorry. Like Ontario is pretty cool. British Columbia is pretty cool, but
I don't understand why
Quebec?
the Canadians fought so hard to keep them when Quebec wanted to break away.
I know you could just reconquered it in like 4 years. Just wait till everything starts falling apart because it's all French now. And
Yeah.
then be like, all right, we own this and we're outlawing French. And all your kids are going to Catholic schools so we can pretend to bury them in the yard later.
Scum says Vancouver is Canada's San Francisco. Oh, does it smell like poop?
Oh, yeah, lots of needles and poo.
Poop, needles, homeless people, and hippies. Ooh, what a wonderful smell.
Yeah, Canada used to be really cool because people were pretty laid back. They were super friendly. If you had a problem, they were eager to help. It was like a giant small town.
You know what happened?
Commies?
The American invasion in the 60s.
No, I think it took a little longer than that to really fall apart.
Well, they got to implant, man.
Yeah.
You get all these cowards, who ran to Canada, these little hippie pieces of shit, because and I understand not wanting to go to die in war, but stay here, go to jail. I mean, don't go ruin somebody else's country. Shit.
Right? Yeah. Sorry, Canada.
I'd take illegal Mexicans over hippies any day.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't? Real quick, thank you, Unit 731. We were only trying to make popsicles in China, but logs taste like crap.
Jesus. Faithless says the commies, you're both right. Yeah, exactly. And any comment on Trudeau's being Castro's son? We've talked about that many times. We actually did the photo comparisons here on the show. Yeah. I guess it actually doesn't make a lot of sense for Castro's son to be cheering this, because Castro was on Russia's side. The communists in Cuba were Russian backed. Well,
Yeah,
Soviet
but this
backed.
is like one of those rebellion things. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna like the stuff you hate, Dad.
You're right. You're right. Since his dad liked commies, he's gonna like Nazis. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Sadly. Thank you, Cryptic. Chief Chief SS Officer. Sir, it seems we are mining too many minerals. Hitler, then mine less minerals. Grammar Nazi, mine fewer. Hitler, yes.
I saw where that was going. Fuck.
Still funny.
Who was that?
Cryptic. Who else?
Of course, it was Cryptic. Well done again, Cryptic.
Thank you, Joey Mangala.
Fuck.
Do not question who they're applauding. Everyone knows that Viva asks the questions. It's
Super
true.
chats or these donations are gonna make me have to go Rumble only on this one.
Oh man, comedy gold.
Oh, I'm sorry. We deserve to have a little fun. All of these little shitbags, because these are the leftists. The guy on your screen is a hardcore lefty. All of them out there just bitching about Nazis constantly. During the trucker thing, one of their little fat ladies got up and the honking is just a Hail Hitler. That's what honk honk means. It means Hail Hitler. No, it means honk honk, you dumb bitch. This bitch who's up, it's a Nazi thing because of truckers not wanting to have mandates that didn't make any fucking sense in the first place. They were Nazis. This same little fat bitch got up there and cheered today.
Of course she did.
Look,
this
for
is
a
what happens
literal,
when dumb people are in charge.
These fucking leftists, they like to literal Nazi. You wouldn't know one if it bit you on the ass.
Or walked in front of you on Parliament's floor, apparently.
Or were brought into Parliament to be cheered. Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake. I'm waiting for Carolyn Orr to come in and tell me that it's just Russian propaganda that this story blew up. The Canadians and Zelensky here gave the Russians such a huge propaganda win here.
Oh, yeah.
The Russians, of course, they jumped on this shit immediately. And rightfully so.
I mean, I don't blame them at all for that. That's just, who would pass up this opportunity?
This was an unforced error, and the error is entirely on Zelensky, Trudeau, whoever this Nazi-looking motherfucker is on the screen, and all the lefties and all the idiots who just keep cheering on Ukraine. Guys, the anti-Russian forces in Ukraine, yes, they are U.S.-backed, but they also are from Nazi stock. And when we tell you that they're actual literal Nazis, the Azov battalion, they stopped being Nazis and regular. They stopped being Nazis and just joined the regular army. They're still fucking Nazis. And if that shit was going on here, nobody would have a problem saying it. Hell, if you even sneeze and it sounds like hail, they'll be, did you just say hail? No. But they see it everywhere except for where literal fucking Nazis are, because for some reason we got to suck up to this midget little motherfucker running around with his hand out going, give me money. Thank you, JB. Come on, Monk. It's not like they have also shown Nazi footage on TV during Remembrance Day. LOL. Fair enough. Fair enough. Still a little different. I mean, they brought a Nazi on to cheer, and none of them caught it. He even explained what the guy did.
Now, do you think that old man was like, haha, we won?
Probably. I bet he was laughing his ass off. Chicago Mike, thank you. Is it me or saluting a Nazi similar to sitting on an anti-aircraft gun in North Vietnam in 1972? I would actually say that one was a little worse because that was at least that was still during active fighting. It's a little bit worse. But yeah, I get the comparison. Thank you so much for the donation.
That's the Hanoi Jane reference.
Yeah, indeed. Money me a money needing a lot now. Is that telling me I need to shill?
No, he's saying Zelensky's like Charlie Day.
Oh,
that's Sunny.
Oh yeah.
Although it is always a good time to shill. So
yeah, we're not Zelensky, so the the world's not out there giving us a bunch of money for Nazis. So if you guys want to part with some of yours, me and Jack will take it.
Yeah,
Also,
we like money.
please hit that like button and the share button if you would. Oh, I meant to bring this up at the top of the show. Guys, Halloween's coming. The Monk-O-Lantern, my favorite shirt ever, my favorite monkey ever. It is available all year round, but if you want it in time for Halloween, go over to the Teespring store now and get it because it takes a couple of weeks for those to come in.
Yeah, our Teespring stores are linked in the description on both chats, both channels rather, and all our channels are as well. So make sure you're subscribed to us everywhere we are, so you can be a creepy stalker.
Indeed. Thank you, Keeverdam, who says, "Here you go. I appreciate it." RJ says, "Sounds like Ukraine has turned into a money laundering." Turned into. Well, yeah, I guess it eventually did, but it's been that way for quite a long time. Quite a long time. Remember, Vladimir Zelensky is the international leader who has the most money stored in offshore accounts. That is a true story.
Yeah,
And that's before we started giving him $100 million or $100 billion it's unaccounted for.
yeah, wasn't that in the Pandora Papers?
Yep. Absolutely was. Cryptic, thank you. Germans don't have Wi-Fi. You're not allowed to ask for their SSID. God damn it. Oh my God. Look, Canada, you guys are going to get a ribbing for this one and you deserve it. This guy on screen right here needs to be out of office. He's not like young. This guy's old enough to have been taught everything that we've talked about here so far today. And the fact that he knew that this guy fought Russians in World War II, and that didn't make him go, yeah, maybe we'll get somebody else, tells you he is unqualified as a leader.
Or he's a secret Nazi.
Or he's a secret Nazi. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm giving too much benefit of the doubt, ain't I?
A little bit. Well, he fought the Russians. Oh, what? Wait, what? When? World War II? You want to look into that? Like, take 2 seconds to Google whose side they were on?
For fuck's sake. It's not like there's a famous picture of the the 3 heads of, I mean, because we put France in the Axis, but I mean, mostly they were just conquered and we had to come, bail them out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Churchill and Roosevelt, and who is the third guy sitting there?
Joey Stalin?
Joey Stalin. Thank you. I forget that from time to time because I think somewhere in my wood pile there's a Canadian or something.
Well, it would
God
have
damn
been better if it was the Canadians joining us back then, but they were on our team. They just, they're Canada. They're like, no, sorry, you guys at the kids' table yet.
Thank you, Ava Braun. We need to get the heat off Zelensky being edited into the audience of his own speech. I know. Activate the sleeper soldier.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Did you see that video?
I did not.
Yeah, when Zelensky gave his speech, they re-edited the footage so it looked like the audience size was bigger.
Of
and
course.
They didn't pay it very close attention because in one of the shots, he's in the audience.
Hey, guys, it's the Russians who do propaganda. It's we got to give our standard disclaimer. We don't support the Russians. Fuck Putin and fuck the Russians. Fuck this whole invasion. It's just none of our business. And Zelensky is a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's no good guys on this.
None.
We always like to root for the underdog, but the underdog's a piece of garbage.
Absolutely. 100%.
Real quick, thank you, Chicago Mike, for that feminist donation. Somewhere in the speech did he ask, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I feel bad for normal Canadians because, yeah, your country's going to get ragged on for this. And like I said, deservedly so. And what a propaganda win for the Russians here.
I think the Canadians could make it up by getting a new season of Shorzy out, but they haven't done that yet.
I don't watch that, so the only way they can make this up is everybody involved needs to step down. I'm sorry. You've just shown you do not even have the historical context to do your fucking job.
Unfortunately, that seems to be a very common problem these days.
True. Well, this is one of the reasons why we need an age limit. people are too old. You know, you can have people who are too young, or in this case, too stupid to be doing the job too.
Yeah.
This is why age isn't a thing, unless you're going to point out all the issues with age. Sometimes they're just fucking stupid, like this guy. And he came out for the record. He came out that this was entirely my fault. He actually said that Trudeau had no idea this guy was being brought in, and somebody
Bullshit.
pointed out that the PM would have to approve whoever's coming through.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought that to begin with, but
So at the very least, Trudeau is just signing off on whatever this guy says without actually knowing who he's bringing in. Oh, this guy. Okay, sure.
well, that wouldn't surprise me either from Junior Drama Club.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. It just means they're not doing their due diligence on it.
yeah. I really don't know how Trudeau keeps getting reelected.
It's not like it's 1980 and you have to go find old, obscure news articles about this shit. We got the fucking internet.
Yeah, nobody had to dust off a newsreel.
Somebody
You
had to
just
go
had to type
find
that
some
in Google,
microfiche.
right?
God. You know what? I miss that though. I like the old movies where they'd have to scroll through that shit to find the article they're looking for.
You know, as somebody that did that for a long time, it's a pain in the fucking dick.
It is, but it seemed more earned when they got it, right?
That's true. I mean, look, you get the microfiche or you get the reel-to-reel microfilm, and it really did feel like you accomplished something when you found an article. But man, what a fucking pain in the ass.
The females that think he's cute, yeah, that's part of that. In all honesty, sorry, ladies, I'm gonna dog on just a little bit here. A lot of women will vote for the cutest guy. The cutest guy in the election, that's who get it. It has nothing to do with their policies. Like, oh, he's cute. And often that is Bill Clinton was an ugly motherfucker. You will never convince me that clown nosed bitch was cute. But women are like, oh my God, he's so cute. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
vote
never
for
got
him.
that
My
either.
vagina told me to.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what kind of women?
Women.
White women.
White women, that's fair enough. JB, thank you so much. Never get rid of the Electoral College. Have to, Jack. Thank you so very much for that. I appreciate it.
Thanks, JB.
Yeah, no, we absolutely should not get rid of the Electoral College. It's one of the few things that's saving the United States as little as it's been saved so far. Otherwise, we'd have idiots doing this shit.
Oh, they're working real hard to make that happen. So, I mean, can you imagine when Fetterman becomes president?
If you, yeah, oh, good God. If you look at our Republican Party, let's talk just the Ukrainian issue, right? If you look at most people on the internet, at least, and I know the internet's not real life. Yeah, those are all fake people. The people on the right, the conservatives, nobody's supporting this fucking war. It's only the leaders who are doing it. The people in Congress, they're we got to get that fucking Putin guy. We miss Reagan. They're the ones doing it, and their supporters aren't. And they keep going, the majority of the country thinks this should be done because the entirety of the media keeps telling them it should and lying. It's almost like the election again, just hiding the bad shit.
Yeah.
6 months before the fucking election, or sorry, not the invasion, there are news stories coming out about the dirty fucking Nazis all over Ukraine, down there in the Donbass region. Anybody know why that's important in this discussion? All of these Nazis in the Donbass region and how fucking horrible it is. Putin invades, and suddenly there's no Nazis here.
All the Nazis magically disappeared.
They just, they went into the regular army, Jack. That's the excuse.
Yeah, they gave up all their core beliefs.
They got rid of the actual Nazis. The whole fucking thing was actual Nazis. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and all the pictures coming out of them wearing the black sun and having various accoutrements of the Nazis. No, nothing to see here. Just ignore that.
And we're not talking about pissed off trailer park trash here in the United States wearing an SS band. We're talking literal fucking Nazis. And they're like, oh, we got Zelensky. He's the greatest thing ever. If you learn nothing else from me, learn this. Vladimir Zelensky is a piece of trash. He is garbage. He's a mafia thug. He's a bag man. He's a piece of shit. And he works for our president. Throwing that out there. Anyway, Jack, if we're giving everybody who's giving money to Zelensky right now, basically, he's your employee. Am I wrong on that?
He should be, but for some reason, it looks like he's in charge and everybody else is his stooge.
Yeah. Anyhow, actors should be the only word you need, but Americans are dumb as shit. Yeah. And it's not like he hasn't been caught. I didn't see the one you were talking about, Jack, but it's not like he hasn't been caught faking video before.
Yeah.
There's a famous one of him where they green screened his ass onto the streets.
Oh, that was so funny. He was totally on the street monkey.
Totally, yeah. The lighting in Ukraine at night brightly lights up the face from dim bulbs on the streets. Dude looks like he's in front of ring lights. You can see ring lights in his fucking pupils, but nah, man, this motherfucker was on the streets in Kiev. Fucking piece of shit.
I will give them credit that their propaganda has been stellar.
It has been. Yeah, they totally shot down a plane with a shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, that you mean that rifle shotgun?
Yeah, the rifle shot. Yes, I forgot about them calling it that. A rifle shotgun took down a $22 million Russian jet. Yeah, that happened.
I mean, let's not forget the Ghost of Kiev.
Yes,
who may or may not be video game footage.
Took out the entire Russian Air Force by himself, and may have been female from what we were told.
Well, legends never die. Right, Sam Hyde.
Green Lady Grey. Well, we should talk about that too. Green Lady Grey. Nothing we've said here is a joke. When we're okay, we've made jokes, but the parts that we were just telling you about Zelensky, that's all real. All the stuff about the different propaganda. We had the whole propaganda of the island that refused to surrender to the Russians, told them to fuck off, and they all died. Except for they all surrendered
right away.
Surrendered immediately and were actually returned to the Ukrainians already. They killed them all, but they stood tall against them. No, they didn't. Tuck tail, as was the smart thing to do when you're facing down Russian warships and there's like 40 of you.
Good story, though. And people still believe that stuff's true.
Oh, they absolutely do. Every so often, they just celebrated that island. A couple months ago, didn't they? Like take it back.
Yeah,
the Russians were like, we don't really give a shit, and left. We took it back. No, you didn't.
Yeah, they took it back in the sense that it was abandoned, as I recall.
But they made a big deal about it. Like, this is the island where it all happened. You mean where they gave up?
Because they're going to put a monument up to that. Just watch.
Fucking retards. Vladimir Zelensky's a piece of shit, and there's a huge propaganda war going on. Yes, the Russians are playing it too. They absolutely are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for once, they have one where they don't even have to try. It was written for them. Fucking like, the Russians haven't had good news for a while. Let's invite a Nazi to parliament. What do you think?
Yeah.
Christ almighty. You heard it here first. Justin Trudeau. Oh, you know what? That actually makes sense. He's a commie. He comes from commie stock. So he is secretly helping Putin, giving him this win. Oh, heard it here first. Mark my words. Commie's a commie. Never going to change, Jack.
It's true.
That
he's redistributing the wins.
That little old 98-year Nazi. Wouldn't want to be you tonight. Castro's coming. Wouldn't want to be you. Why the fuck is a member of the SS running around free in Canada?
I don't know. You'd think they would want to hold him on trial at The Hague.
And we hung a lot of those fuckers for good reason. Canada's like, we take all kinds of people running from war.
He's got an Argentinian passport. What are you talking about?
Anyway, because he's a snitch, I mean, that's fair. Oh my God. I saw some tweet the other day. It was somebody retweeting it with the Who Wants to Tell Her? And I forget which person that they were mad about being a Nazi. Said we should never use any technology from a Nazi. Yeah, Who Wants to Tell Her? For those of you who don't know, our entire space program came from the Nazis.
Yeah, V2 program.
The entirety of it. We went in and stole some of their scientists, and the Russians went in and stole the others. They're the few people from the actual Nazi regime who were in there doing bad shit that just kind of got a pass because we wanted them to teach us how to fire rockets into the air. True story. Look it up. Anyway, Jack, anything else we want to laugh at the Canadians for at this moment?
Not right now. I might think of something later. But real quick, thank you, Cryptic. I find it interesting that if you rearrange the letters in the word mother-in-law, you get the words woman Hitler. Yeah, probably not a coincidence.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Thank you.
Actually, though, my mother-in-law is very nice to me.
I don't have one, so thanks for rubbing that in.
Oh, well, not everybody has a nice mother-in-law, so. I'm just saying. All right, now, tonight is just going to be a random assortment because I haven't been on for 2 days, so I have lots of stuff, and I didn't prepare it in any kind of meaningful way, so we're going to just do that.
So, about normal, huh?
And we're going to start by, look, I'm not shitting on women on this, okay? Please understand that. I'm really not.
I make no such assurances.
Well, I mean, here. Let's just do it, and we'll get to it. Because men, you're not off the hook on this. Don't you be patting yourselves on the back when I say what I'm about to say. Pro tip for men: when you ask a female, girlfriend, wife, daughter, if they want anything from the store or Starbucks, I love that Starbucks is specifically named there.
Well, you know
Fair.
why.
I think we found a chip on a shoulder here.
Yeah.
When you ask a female if they want anything from the store or Starbucks and they say nothing, what they're really saying is, you should know me well enough to know what I want and love me enough to buy it for me without me asking.
So you can start a fight when you get home with something she really didn't want because she said nothing. And she's like, you're trying to make me fat. And you're like, no, nature's doing that, thunder thighs. Next thing you know, you're sleeping on the couch.
She goes on to tell this story about how her daughter was at some school thing, and her dad said, hey, you want me to bring anything? And she said no. And mom said, hey, take her this stuff. Trust me. Even though she said nothing, take her this. And he took it to her, and his daughter was happy.
One-time anecdote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's not wrong for most women here.
What kind of fucking psyop is this?
They expect men to be able to read their fucking minds. Again,
Yeah, no, fuck that. Waste my time.
Women don't do this shit. We have this thing we've developed called language, which allows us to communicate. We have not, as far as I know, Jack, even with all the government testing, we've not been able to actually have psychic powers.
Yeah, so you got to use your big girl words and say them out loud, spoken, not just in your mind or in your journal. Well, if he loved me, he'd know. No, that's crazy. Okay, ladies? That's crazy. Don't listen to your crazy brain.
Now, gentlemen, that doesn't let you off the hook. Even if you have a wife who's nothing and she actually means it because you're in a grown-up relationship and she's not testing you, that doesn't mean you can't still do nice things that she didn't ask for. Say you do go to Starbucks and she's like, nah, I really don't want anything. You know, she obviously says, I want coffee right now. So you know what? I know she likes this muffin. I will get her a muffin. You can still do nice things, and you should still do nice things. But it's not nice if it's, oh, shit, I have to get this. She said nothing. Fuck, now I got to figure out what she wants. That's not nice. That's actually cruel to do to somebody. It's emotionally manipulative. Don't do that shit.
Absolutely.
And women out there, this is just how we are. Stop it. Just say what the fuck you want. And gentlemen, be nicer. Anyway, and And yes, that's how I live my life. Lady Monkey, if she says, if I, hey, you want anything? And she says nothing, I know she means nothing because we've had this talk. And it took 20 fucking years for her to finally understand that if she tells me she wants something, I will actually get it. But that she can't hold me responsible if I don't get it because I didn't fucking know.
Yeah, because she didn't tell you. No, that's some weird game shit that women play. I don't understand why they keep doing that crap. That's childish. Grow the fuck up. Just say what you want. That's how you get things in your relationship. If we did that crap, that we'd be constantly at war with each other. It's ridiculous.
Well,
You
real
should
quick,
know by now.
let me get this real quick. Cryptic, thank you so very much. Why don't women parachute naked? The annoying whistling sound on the way down. Oh, plus the chapped lips, man.
Their meat flaps to get all chafed.
That's a lot of wind. Anyhow,
some chicks have really big labia.
Look, I don't know why women do. She's not wrong that women do this. She's really not, and I don't know how they're taught to do that. I don't know where it comes from, but just stop it. It's the 21st century. What century are in 21st?
I don't know.
I don't fucking care. Yeah, 21st century is what we're in. It's the 21st century. Come on in. We've been speaking to each other for thousands of years. Try it.
Expecting your spouse to know what you want is how you break up relationships.
We have a lot of problems in relationships, and most of it is there's two main things that cause relationships to break up. One of them, there's not a lot you can do about. It's financing. Financing puts stress on people, and they take it out on each other, which again, the other one would help with communication. Just communication. Just talk. Just say what you actually fucking mean. And it really will. It will fix things. You'll be surprised how much happier your life is if you want something and somebody asks you if you want something and you say yes and they get it for you. Instead of, do you want something? No. All right. And then they don't get something. You got to sit there pissed off all night because somebody's not Miss Cleo. Oh, I forgot my crystal ball today. Shit. What? I'd just buy the whole store. But again, gentlemen, that doesn't mean you can't still do something nice. All right. Anyway.
Why is a man going to Starbucks without his girlfriend anyway?
Why is a man going to Starbucks with his girlfriend?
Because she makes him.
That's like going to Chippendales with her. What the fuck are you doing? You just like looking at dick? I mean, it's fine if you do, but why do you have a wife then?
The spice must flow.
What are you, Cory Booker? Anyway, probably wearing a backpack too.
Backpack full of banana hammocks and lube for all the gay sex he's gonna have later.
Right?
If I see a dude at Starbucks, you walk by a Starbucks, you look in, and there's always some effeminate looking dude in there. You're like, is that a woman with testosterone?
Right. All right, Jack. This next one might cause a little controversy.
As opposed to what we just said.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll understand in a second. I got to turn the music off on it. Okay. I do need to throw this out there. What we are about to watch is a medical issue. Okay. I'm not supporting it. It's Eugenia Cooney, just so you know.
Oh,
Jack.
yeah.
I'm not supporting
sandwich,
her.
Bitch.
Yep, at least. But I wanted to talk about this because this video blew up everywhere the other day. You know what? There's enough on the screen. I'm not going to play the video. She's actually dancing in it, and it's fucking weird. And this looks like some kind of weird Halloween filter put on somebody to look like a skeleton. It's not. This is how this girl actually looks. Yeah. She has a eating disorder, a major eating disorder, and she knows it. People say them. Have you seen? Did you watch the Willie Mack videos on this?
No, I can't watch videos with her.
People go into her chat and tell you're going to die. You're going to die. And why aren't you dead yet? They say the most horrible fucking shit to this girl. They have no problem saying
give her a binging complex.
And nobody calls these people out for this shit. And look, yes, she needs therapy. She knows she needs therapy. Some YouTubers a while back decided to get involved because they blamed her mama for this. she was actually already going to get treatment. But instead, what they did is she ended up into forcible treatment for just a couple of days, as long as they could hold her. And then she went home because they're like, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't want help. And she's tried to get it. And again, this does not excuse how she looks, and I'm not supporting how she looks. But can somebody tell me why it's perfectly okay to point out that this chick is unhealthy? But if I call Lizzo fat, I'm shaming her. Lizzo weighs over 300 pounds.
I think we could take that a step further. What about Amberlynn Reed? It's like, got to be pushing 6.
Whitney Waythor?
Yeah, Whitney Waythor. All these body positive weirdos. They all want to shit on somebody like Eugenia, but I'm healthy at any size. No, you're not, Moo Cow. Shut up.
Yeah, what
You're
happened
gonna
to
die
healthy
from walking up the stairs.
What happened to healthy at any size at her size?
It only applies to the tubagoos.
It only applies to fat people. And somebody told me, hey, she's gonna die. Lizzo moves around a lot. It's not like she's in immediate danger. Have you seen that bitch?
Right.
All that moving around, that it is not as healthy for that fat bitch as you think it is.
And let's not forget, it only applies to fat women. Fat men are not included in that because even fat chicks don't want fat dudes.
But for some reason, I know why, because it's kind of like bashing Christians, right? Oh, I'm an atheist. All right, say something about the Muslims. Oh, no. That's can't do that.
Yeah. Oh, what are you, a bigot? Islamophobe?
By the way, do you know what those Catholics did to little boys? They'll take the cheap shots. They'll take the ones that are acceptable to take.
Yeah, I know what the Catholics did to little boys, and it was a lot less than the Muslims do to little boys.
No shit.
Statistically.
Rodline says, I feel bad for Eugenia. Eugenia? Is it Eugenia or Eugenia? I'm not real sure how to say it.
I don't know. Skinny chick.
He says that's an awful mind. I feel really bad for this girl. If you've seen her talk about this stuff, it is fucking heartbreaking. She knows she has a problem. She just can't stop.
Yeah. It's a
Cryptic,
psychological problem.
Thank you, Cryptic. When she's too skinny for even Jack, get help. Yeah.
Right?
And again, you don't go tell her this. She knows. She does.
Yeah, leave her alone. It's not helping to sit there and be like, you're going to die.
If you do just need to say something to her, go wish her to get better. Hey, I hope you figure this shit out. Because that's what she needs. She doesn't, you're going to die. She knows.
A lot of people with these kind of psychological problems, if they start feeling attacked, they're going to double down.
Yes, exactly. And that's what they tell. Wait, to that point, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, but that's what they'll tell us about fat shaming. Oh, it doesn't work. Apparently it does for skinny shaming.
Yeah.
My friend's daughter, all through high school, Jack, she was thin, like bone thin. Not quite Eugenia, but she wore like a size 0. That girl could out-eat me, but she just had a very high metabolism and was very active. That girl never sat still. But it was perfectly fine for everybody. You're too skinny, girl. If she was fat and you're like, hey, you're kind of chunky. Like, hey, you're going to hurt her feelings. You're going to give her a complex. It's amazing how that only goes one way. Devil Fruit Zero, thank you. How has she not died like that vegan a month ago? I don't know.
Human body's an impressive thing. People could take a lot. And if you have good genetics or you were at one time athletic or something, you could deal with quite a bit. But this poor girl, man, I hate to see what's going to happen to her.
Backscan said your girlfriend could out eat you. I feel like you missed something. I said my friend's daughter. She was like 10, homie. That chick needs to eat though. Of course she does. But my point here being that why we're only allowed to point that out if they're too skinny. If they're too skinny, hey, you're gonna die. Say that to Lizzo and see what happens. Look at the number of people who will come at you. How dare you say she's unhealthy? The bitch, the only definition to that bitch's body is round.
Yeah, well, I would go with planetary.
Fair. And she's celebrated. Look how beautiful she is. She's not beautiful.
Stunning.
She's a heart attack waiting to happen. She moves around a lot. So did Chris Farley. Anyway. That it just pissed me off, Jack, when I saw that for like the 15th fucking time. Like, all you fuckers, none of you will come out and say anything about fat people, though. And I'm not talking a little bit overweight. We're talking morbidly obese. Do you realize severely morbidly obese is an actual medical term?
Yeah.
Do you know the average lifespan of a severely morbidly obese woman?
Like 30?
47.
47? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, right? Do you know what the lifespan is in the U.S.?
50?
It's about 78.
Oh, you meant for normal people.
Normal people, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The overall lifespan. And that's with them dragging us down. Men, you get off a little easier. You get to live into your 50s if you're that fucking fat. And then you die and people are like, oh, it's such a tragedy. Yeah, it is. Because you fucking assholes cheered it on the whole way. I don't hate fat people. I hate fat acceptance. And not just fat acceptance, because we're beyond fat acceptance. It's fat cheering now.
Yeah.
This shit pisses me off. I hate hypocrites, man. Fucking hate them. Oh, we got another one of these. Oh, yeah. Now, this video, I'm sorry, there's no way for me to turn it up. Which is probably good, because it'd probably get us kicked off YouTube, because he's reading from a book that's in a children's library at a school.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Only the kids could read those.
Red Hood, which is a book in Airport and BC High School, has not been come a book before the board or any committee yet, has detailed graphic sex scenes between minors.
For those of you who didn't hear what he says, I'm sorry it's so low. He says that the book that he's about to talk about that hasn't been reviewed by the board, which is weird. Isn't somebody supposed to review these books before they go into schools?
They're supposed to, but they don't always do it because they're lazy. And they don't, that way they have plausible deniability.
Has sex scenes between minors. Now, it is very quiet, and I don't want to make you guys keep turning up and down. I'll throw the video into chat. I'll just tell you what happens. He starts reading from the book, and I'm like, sir, let me get this real fast. Talbot, thank you. The Beastie Boys had words that fit for Lizzo. Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. Indeed. And I would have sung that, but I don't know that. I know of the song. I don't know the song, because I honestly don't like that song. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. Healthy at any size? Yeah, enjoy those toes while you still have them, Stumpy. Fair. But anyway, so this guy, he reads from the book, and sir, no. He goes, all right, tell you what, I'll bleep it. And he does. He bleeps out the bad words. And I'm like, no, sorry, no, can't let you do that. You got to stop reading. That's inappropriate here, sir. The book, I just want to explain what happened there. The book, bleeped out, is inappropriate for the group of adults who approve these books for children. Did everybody get that? The people who make the decision on this book being there for children find it inappropriate to read that book to them, censored. And what are we going to hear? What are we going to hear? They're trying to ban books. These little fucking Nazis. They're literal Nazis out there with their book burning. They're trying to censor people. You won't let it be read to adults. And that doesn't make you go, maybe they have a point. Maybe this is inappropriate for children. A school library is not your public library. The stuff in there is supposed to be age appropriate. And I had one dumb fuck say to me, this is the 21st century. They'll find worse than that on the internet. Yeah, they will. You do understand there's a huge difference from somebody finding something on the internet on their own, being kids going, look what we found, and an adult giving them porn, right? You get that that's a difference. It's not the same fucking thing. Just because kids will get into trouble doesn't mean we don't try to keep them out of trouble, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, like monitor what your kids do, put the computer that they use out in the public area where they could get caught pretty easily. It seems like something good parents would do.
Oh yeah, I can share this. I didn't open it to the other thing, so it's just on my thing. I gotta open it a different way here. Let me toss that into chat for you. There you go. Yeah, you can watch the whole thing. It's fucking amazing to see. You can't read that here. There's adults in the room. That's essentially what they're saying. That book for kids, you can't read it here. There's adults in the room. That's it. What are you thinking, man?
They're very sensitive, those adults.
Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, ugh. Tell me there's not an agenda. Go ahead and tell me there's not an agenda to sexualize children.
There's no agenda, monkey. You're being silly. You're just right-wing talking points. Trumper.
This keeps coming up over and over and over. You look this up. There's dozens of these videos of people being shut down at school board meetings for reading books in their children's school. Don't do that. They brought police in on one guy.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, he is probably a domestic terrorist at that point.
He was reading a fucking book that his child had access to in school. Hey, stop that. Police. My delicate sensibilities can't hear that. That is for children only.
Please arrest my political opposition because they're pointing out what perverts we are.
And 100% of the time, these are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, non-binary. What are all the little letters for? It's LGBT bullshit every fucking time. No, there's no agenda.
Can we just call it what it really is? This is child molester material. Pamphlets for grooming. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. This is the definition of grooming. Hey, this is between us. Don't tell your parents. Don't tell your parents. This is between me and you, Johnny. I mean Susie. Hey, come into my special closet. Come here. This is where the cool kids hang out. Don't tell mommy. Here, read this. Fuck you.
You like Gladiator movies?
Right. Do you like Gladiator? That's still a funny fucking scene. I love that they drag it out too. It's not just all at once. It's a little bit here and there.
You gotta make it weird and uncomfortable.
Just when you think it's done, he hits you with one more. All right. Let's grab the story you just brought up. The bottom one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maine dad says high school clinic sent 17-year-old daughter home with secret baggie of Zoloft. Oh, I saw this one.
Yeah, I was going around Twitter the other day and it pissed me off real bad.
Sick child protective services on him for complaining.
Yep.
A Fairfield father. Fairfield. At least it's Fairfield, Maine this time. Is it just that name?
Anything with fair in it.
All right.
Fairfax, Fairfield, fair enough.
Oklahoma Fair. Oh, wait, that's not right.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that. That was horrible. That was horrible.
A few people got shot. You know, what are you going to do?
A Fairfield father says that a federally funded health clinic operating within Lawrence High School provided his minor daughter with a baggie of prescription antidepressants without his knowledge or consent. When the girl's father, Eric Sack, discovered the baggie of pills over the weekend, his daughter told him that it was provided to her by the Bulldog Health Center. That sounds like a real place.
That sounds like their mascot's the Bulldogs.
That's where you go to get your medicines. A school-based health clinic at Lawrence High School. You should have a school nurse, somebody who can put a Band-Aid on something or call the real doctors if something's needed.
No, this is how they get around the rules and can give your kids meds. They just have a clinic at the school.
Cynic says prescription in a baggie. Yes, exactly. Sachs saw the pills as an infringement of his parental rights. It 100% is.
Yep.
If your kid goes into the hospital, they need parental consent to do stuff, or they're getting rid of most of that too. Fuck it, go to school and get some Zoloft. Thank you, Snubber. And by the way, isn't this another one that has can have the opposite effect of the antidepressives?
Yes.
Yeah. Snubber, thank you. What's weird is now minors are trying to police porn, especially on social media. Twitter, for example, the people bitching about minors seeing porn are 16-year-olds following porn artists or in grooming discords. Well, yeah. They're getting touched. They're like, please stop this. Nuts asked where this was. Fairfield, Maine. Right here in the good old US of A. Hey, still not as bad as Nazis. Just saying. He was also concerned that school's clinic sent unlabeled drugs with no child-resistant container to his home. Yes, this is the bag it came in. It's a fucking Ziploc bag.
If that kid had gotten stopped by the cops and had a bag like that with drugs in it, they'd be arrested because you can't prove you have a prescription for it.
They didn't have I guarantee there's no prescription for this.
No, this is the school just handing out drugs to kids. There's something really shady about this. I'm wondering how many times this happened.
Well, this is obviously not their first.
No.
Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so very much for the donation with no message. That's very kind of you, sir. I appreciate it. I wonder how well, this is in a school, how well locked up are these pills? I don't know about your school, Jack, but my school was easy to break into.
Yeah.
I never did it. And look, I tell you, it's statute of limitations is long past. I used to wander to schools after school hours, but the school was open. They didn't actually close our school till like 7 at night.
Yeah, custodians are lazy.
I had friends who broke into the high school a few times. Not hard to do. You only had to get on the roof. There was a hatch that they didn't secure. Good job, by the way, guys. But how secure are these pills in a fucking high school?
Yeah.
Anyway, he called Lawrence High School principal Dan Bowers, to complain about the undisclosed drug treatment the school clinic gave his daughter, but Bowers insisted that SBHC was a separate entity from the school and not under his control. That's fine. All right, I'll give him. I'll let him have that, Jack. But when you found out, you should be like, "What the fuck is going on within my school? Why is this happening?" You should have been on the phone immediately, and then you should have called. You should have called the press because it wouldn't have helped. But at least you would have shown you actually gave a shit about what was going on with your kids. You guys like these are our kids. You don't treat them like it.
Well, looks like to me this so-called clinic is passing out drugs to children, and the school principal is complicit in drug dealing. Because if there's no prescription, no paper trail, and this guy is apparently completely unaware of drugs being distributed, that sounds like he's part of the problem.
Yeah, don't blame Nuts for that one, Pumpkin Hawk. I did call you Pumpkin Trucker when I said thank you. So thank you, Pumpkin Hawk. My mistake. Yeah, she was just repeating what I said. That's my bad, Nuts. Oh, or did you even repeat it, or did he just blame you? I think he just blamed her.
I blame you.
It's fucked up. Don't do that to Nuts. It's my fault. Anyhow, where are we? Okay. Where are we? We're still on the story. Bauer did not he didn't respond for a request for comment. That's shocking.
Yeah, right.
Guys got drugs being passed out in this school by adults. We're not talking about dealers here. Well, I guess we are, but not black market dealers. It's sad that we have to make that distinction now in schools between black market drug dealers and, the adults in the room.
I'm just happy for once it wasn't hormones.
Sachs said representatives of the Bulldog Health Center, which is operated by the Waterville-based Health Reach Community Health Centers, told him they were legally allowed to give his daughter prescription drugs without informing him, but they would but they wouldn't. Is that supposed to be would? They wouldn't address they wouldn't talk to him about the labels. All right. Broke my brain there for a second.
I think he
So-
should file a lawsuit against them for custodial interference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Calls placed to the Bulldog Health Center weren't returned. Really? I'm shocked. That seems what's the word I'm looking for here? Normal. Grown-ups doing bad shit. And you know what they're gonna do, Jack? They're gonna deny this shit.
Of course,
If-
they already did. They're like, we're allowed to do that.
If
Oh,
it
we're
gets,
not? Oh, well. We're
if
going
it
to
gets
keep doing it anyway. They'll just keep doing it.
if it gets enough pushback to where they have to answer for it, it'll be the same thing that they did with the Boston Children's Hospital. Well, that never happened. They bragged about it in videos. What the fuck are you talking about? Pumpkin
shut up.
Trucker, thank you. There, now you weren't wrong. No, I was still wrong with the way I said it the first time, but I appreciate the follow-up. I appreciate the assist there, my friend. There were videos of these doctors talking about how, didn't the one even talk about the youngest that he had operated on was 12?
Yeah,
12 or 14.
though.
Yeah. There's videos of it. That never happened. What are you, a Tate fan, for fuck's sake? They bragged about it. No, that never happened. Fuck you. You degenerate pieces of shit. Why are you doing this shit to kids? Seriously. You've already got them mentally brainwashed. They'll already listen to any stupid shit that comes out of your fucking mouth. You got to drug them now, too?
Yeah, it's further tightening the controls. Get the children to subvert the parents, and you have an entire generation that will do whatever you want.
Sack pulled his daughter out of the public school this week to make her appointments with a doctor and a therapist. Really? So he's a good dad. Good on him. After Sack withheld his daughter from school, someone at either the school or the health clinic contacted the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Child and Family Services, the division of state government tasked with investigating allegations of child abuse.
Yep. Well, they view this as child abuse because how dare you go against the state?
This guy's daughter, they think she's bad enough to give her Zoloft. And he pulls her out so she can get actual medical treatment. And they sent him to CPS, basically. Hey, he's taking care of his daughter over there.
Anybody that hasn't seen what CPS does to people's families and how much it upends them, it can destroy their lives for literal years, if not forever, because they can take a kid away. This is absolutely retaliation. They weaponize CPS, and it's disgusting. We've seen it too many times. It's gross, and these people should all be ashamed of themselves and probably charged with some sort of crime for custodial interference or just giving this kid medications without parental approval.
Yeah, doctors should lose their licenses over this shit.
Absolutely, and get sued.
After Sack withheld his... I read that part. On Thursday, an agent from Child Protective Services called Sack and informed him that he would be arriving shortly to make a surprise visit to his home to conduct a child welfare investigation. They called and said it was an emergency situation at my house, that I was pretty near holding my daughter hostage, is what the gentleman came yesterday and told me. He had information that only the school and Bulldog Health Center had. Really?
Interesting.
These are people
How dare
who
you
won't
go against our will.
These are people who won't call child services when there's a child being raped.
Yep.
And look, hashtag not at this school. Yeah, I understand that, but educators. That's what these people are doing these days. They're protecting literal pedophiles and doping up kids.
We're going to see this more and more as time goes on when there's pushback against this transgender stuff. You're going to see more and more people getting investigated by Child Protective Services. They do this shit in California and Virginia now. It's going to spread because these people do not like giving up their power or influence.
Yeah. And, yeah.
They don't care whose lives they destroy.
Absolutely not.
It's about maintaining their control over you and your children.
Where are the side effects of this shit? Safety and possible side effects. Nausea, loss of appetite, diarrhea, indigestion, increased sweating, tremors or shaking. Yeah, dad doesn't need to know that could happen to his kid. Agitation, change in sleeping habits, including increased sleepiness or insomnia. Sexual problems, including decreased libido and ejaculation failure. Fatigue or tiredness and anxiety. Let's see. What could possibly go wrong with giving a child that without their parents knowing to be looking for these fucking side effects?
Especially because a lot of these type of meds, you have to be careful with teenagers because their brain chemistry and bodies are developing. So there's all this flood of different hormones and random activity that can alter the way medication affects them.
Yeah, she's 17 for fuck's sake. This is shit that should not. It's not just parental control. There's good reasons for why parents need to know what drugs their children are taking.
Yeah.
Suddenly your child just won't get up and they're sluggish constantly. That's usually a sign of a major disease, Jack.
Yeah.
No, they just doped him up in high school. Don't worry about it. None of your business. Go fuck yourselves. I hate these people. Talbot, thank you. CBS tried to take me away a day after my stepdad and me got into a fight. He gave as good as he got. I threw first. The police had to remove the agent because me, stepdad, and my mother were all yelling about her low intelligence. Thank you for the donation. Sorry to hear that happened. I'm guessing, what were you, 16, 17? That's about the time boys actually get into fist fights with grown men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen.
Child Protective Services is the human resources of child development. They will do whatever they can to prove how right they are. And they've already made a determination more often than not. If they get involved, a lot of times they're not wrong, but sometimes they just don't like you because they've decided the kid is in a bad situation and they need to rescue him because they all got hero complex. You got to be real careful what you say to them. If you get investigated, make an appointment with a lawyer as soon as possible because these people will destroy you.
Pumpkin Hawk, I'm so sorry. I did get the donation and I got distracted. I'm so sorry. Pumpkin Hawk, thank you so very much. Thanks for correcting and not letting Pumpkin Trucker hog my glory. LOL. Editor, thank you so much. My dad was a high school principal here in South Carolina. You'd be amazed how hard it is to get a teacher fired for just performance issues. Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Maybe 20 years ago, I would have been.
Yeah. I remember the nightmare scenarios. If you ever look into like New York, they have a special building where they send the problem teachers and they just sit there all day. They do whatever the fuck they want. They bring books in, they play on their laptops, that sort of thing. They call them rubber rooms. They have some other cute euphemisms for them. They're all over the country, though, where the problem teachers that the union won't let them fire have to go. And it's usually because they had an inappropriate relationship or they hit a kid or something like that. But the union stood up for them and they can't get fired. And they're waiting on like the 2-year process to play out so they can actually get this person fired. In the meantime, that person's still collecting a check. So they have to show up somewhere. And they have to show up at these, usually they're like administrative buildings or empty schools. And they just sit around all day. That's it.
Just consider that there was a teacher who banged one of her barely pubescent students and did not lose her teaching license.
Yep.
Right here in the good old US of A.
For some reason, teachers have really powerful unions and they will stand up for all these degenerates. Makes me wonder if there isn't something to the possibility of Pizzagate. I'm just saying.
It's not just that. You're not wrong, but it's not just that. Teachers are put on such a pedestal in this country. Teachers are the most unsung heroes of everybody. They do all the work that nobody else would do. And it's amazing what a lot of teachers fucking suck. Especially now. A lot of them just fucking suck. I guarantee you, everybody in this audience who went through American public schools has a story about a really shitty teacher.
Oh, it'd be hard not to have one.
many of us have several. Editor, thank you. I'm 50. This was about 20 years ago, LOL. Fair enough. It's even harder now. They just can't get rid of these people. And there's fights. Anytime somebody brings up, hey, we should have performance-based hiring and teaching. How dare you suggest that we should hold them responsible for doing their job?
Meritocracy. What? What is it? What kind of right-wing fashy talking point is that?
Teachers are put on such a pedestal. They have the hardest. Really? Look, I don't know about today, Jack, because I know that the discipline thing is a lot different than when we went to school.
Yeah.
But most classes, the kids come in, they sit down, they do what they're told. You got a problem, child? I get that. But don't tell me it's every day and all the kids. Because it's not there. We're gonna watch that video, just the first part of it. Let me find that fucking thing. The one I know, I think you saw it. The teacher, yeah, I know, because you did respond to it. The teacher who's telling us how bad the schools are now.
Yeah.
How dumb the kids are. Oh, there it is. Like, oh, you not believe how dumb these kids are. Now, this is somebody, I forget what they call it on TikTok when somebody responds to a video instead of just calling it a response. But we're only really interested in this guy. And I should have started that earlier. All right. So I want you to listen to what he says here. Just listen to what he says.
I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
I teach 7th grade, and they still performing on a 4th grade level. There's only one F in 4th, as far as I know.
As I told you on Twitter, or on X, 4th comes between 3rd and 4th. It's like a half year.
He doesn't. The teacher that responds to this doesn't mention behavioral problems at all. And I did get into an argument with somebody, but the kids today just don't listen. None of them talked about behavioral problems. So put that shit off to the side. They're just talking about how dumb the kids are. You have a teacher who can't pronounce the word 4th, for fuck's sake. And he didn't do 7th very well either. And before like, that's just, how people, no, fuck you. Your teacher should be speaking proper English.
No, that's his culture, monkey, you bigot.
Bullshit. He wants to talk like that with his friends. Fine. This is in your official capacity. You think this motherfucker talks any different to his kids? Like
No.
Suddenly he becomes a Rhodes Scholar when it's okay, children, listen up. Listen up. We got to sit here and talk about. No, I'm not gonna do that. It makes me sound like Mike Tyson, but not as gay. Yeah, but what's the problem with the children? The teachers. That's the problem.
Well,
and before anybody goes, well, they're just not teaching him. Oh, they're teaching. They're teaching. They're just not teaching the stuff they should be teaching. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you've got a couple problems here. You have an uneducated population who perpetuate that cycle. Mm-hmm. So if you have dumb parents that didn't learn anything in school, they're not going to be able to help their kids learn. And then you've got teachers that are incompetent and you can't fire the incompetent ones because it's not a meritocracy. So if you have a shitty teacher, you're stuck with that shitty teacher until they decide to quit, basically.
And that's fair. But it's not just that. We now have this equity grading system they institute in various places in Oregon, where the child completely fails at something. Hey, don't give him a 0 for that, even though he didn't do it, because that might, he's from a poor part of town. He's black. He's black, so give him a C so he still passes.
That shit started No Child Left Behind. Basically, it was you have to dumb down the homework for the kids until they can pass it and then accept that.
I hear you with that. However, I was reading about this and I would have agreed with you until I read the whole equity thing actually goes back to the 70s.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that crap. Remember, the participation award stuff started around that time too.
Yeah. So
a lot of this stuff has that roots from the whole fairness and self-esteem movement.
And yes, Michael, we are being dead serious here. Look it up. They're grading based on the child's color, their living environment. Instead of going, hey, what's 2 plus 2? They're like, are you black? Are you just get it? We'll let you pass. So these kids who desperately need to be educated to get ahead in life, they're not educating them because they're afraid of offending.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to get yelled at by an angry parent.
They're making black kids dumb because they don't think black kids can learn, which, by the way, racist as fuck.
Yeah, a little bit.
But they're doing this everywhere. They're getting rid of any standard. Any standard. When I was a kid, if you didn't get a 70 on your paper, you failed. You failed. Now, you might still get, 55 points, depending on how bad you did. I never did that bad until I got into high school and stopped caring. But you still got some points. They made it sound like if you failed, every grade was a 0.
Yeah.
They actually said in this one article I read about this, that in Oregon, okay, so if the child is given an assignment, right, and he doesn't complete it, he could get a 0. And that 0 alone, even if he had straight A's otherwise, could cause him to fail the class. Well, that's a problem with your teacher's grading.
Yeah, because that's a
Grading
C.
problem. That's giving too much weight to that project. Not saying that project had no value whatsoever. Although I do think a lot of projects they make kids do, it's just busy work.
Of course it is.
Make a diorama. No. I fucking hated those. And mine always looked like shit, Jack, because I did not care.
Yeah, well, the same thing here.
There were kids that came in and their shit looked like a movie set. And mine looked like I just threw shit in the box and tried smeared glue around and hoped it worked. Because I hated that shit. But if you're given a project or something like that and the student can fail the class with straight A's other than that is a teacher problem. That's the teacher giving too much weight. That's saying, okay, at least 30% of your grade, when you and I were in school, Jack, at least 30% of your grade is just this. That is too much for any one project. Sorry. Maybe your final exam, but not to make a volcano.
Well, a good teacher would figure out how many homework assignments you needed to make them worth enough to help adjust a bad test, because you have to assume that somebody's going to have a bad day and fuck up their test. So you have homework assignments filtered in that would compensate for the equivalent of about one test. So if they always did their homework, it would cover one of those tests.
So, thank you so much for the very first super chat from you. Hey, it tells me that now. That's awesome.
Nice.
I have a teacher in high school who told me if I couldn't learn algebra, I'd be flipping burgers the rest of my life. Teachers do like to over-exaggerate the importance of the stuff you learn there.
Especially algebra. When was the last time you had to FOIL anything, monkey?
You don't need algebra. Algebra is useless. Okay, sorry, that's going to piss off some math folks. Most normal people have no reason to know algebra. None. Algebra is simple math made hard to make hard things easier. Did that make sense?
I understood what you were trying to say.
You take all algebra is everything in algebra. There's nothing other than plus, minus, subtract, and divide. That's it.
So multiply.
Multiply and divide. Yes, it's subtract. Those are the only 4 actual math things we can do. Everything else is just how we do it. Whether you're doing it as a fraction or whether you're doing it in some equation, all of it, and you look at it, you're either adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing through all of it. And you can do that in every algebraic. In fact, to solve an algebraic equation, that's what you do. You use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, because that is what math is. So you take this simple stuff, and most of us, all we need is that simple stuff, the ability to do that. But some people need that stuff in a way that's much faster to do. And that's where algebra comes in. So it's much more complicated when you're looking at what it is. But for the people who need it, it's a simplification of doing all of those processes. So it has its uses, just not for most of us. Just like most of you are never going to need anything you learned in like chemistry class. or biology. Well, I guess we should probably learn a little bit more about biology these days.
Yeah.
When you and I went to, there was no reason for any of us to know what the inside of a frog looked like, unless you were going into medicine. There's the cut it open. By the way, cutting open a frog, really weird. Did you have to do that in school?
I wasn't allowed.
They wouldn't let you have sharp things?
Yes.
We
I was that kid.
we did, and it was weird, and it traumatized some of the girls in class. And I've never had to, sorry, waiting for a donation. I've never had to perform an autopsy since. So I don't know why we needed to do that.
I haven't had to perform an autopsy. They get a little weirded out if you volunteer.
I look, I didn't say I hadn't done it. I just said I didn't need to. Sometimes you're curious is all.
It's true.
And I'm pretty sure that lady said it was okay. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. Algebra, yeah, and I was told I'd never get paid to stare out of my window. Thank you so much, my friend. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, one of the big things, you're not going to get a job playing video games. Well, most of us weren't, but some people did eventually. Became an actual fucking job.
Yeah.
What a world.
What lack of foresight on their part that the internet would take off.
No shit. Desensitization to field dressing an animal? Maybe. But I mean, I grew up in cities, Jack. There wasn't a whole lot of hunting going on. If you were doing a field dressing where I lived, you just killed somebody.
That's called serial killing.
Dixie Rose, thank you for that double feminist $12.
Woo!
That would be 24 for those of you who do know math. Earlier Chicago Mike's was a feminist $12. Chicago Mike, thank you so much for that feminist $12. I'm so sorry I missed that. Dixie Rose, thank you for the dumb one. Fuck me. We'll talk about this after the show. Reading, guys, please do it in all caps. And I'm not saying anything bad about people who donate. I appreciate it. But please, all caps. My reading's not the best to begin with, and this eye is really fucking with me. Thank you, Dixie Rose, for that double feminist $12. I practically failed algebra in high school, but made straight A's in nursing school with medication dosages while using algebra. Well, a lot of the times you end up using algebra, you don't even realize you are. I'm sure they told you were at the time, but you do what's called algebra quite a bit. It's just not necessary because you can still do it with just addition, subtraction. It's all just addition, subtraction. It's new math. There's no new math. It's the same shit it's always been because it's a universal thing. 2 + 2 will always be 4. Stop it.
No, 10 is your friend, so you round it off, and then you call upon the space wizards, and they do the subtraction for you.
Yeah. Snubber, thank you. Caps lock is cruise control for cool. Fair enough. This eye is still bothering me, and it's an irritation at this point, and I get angry at it. Is that a normal human reaction?
Maybe.
I hope so, because it's happening. I forget. Oh yeah, when it comes to school, there's a lot that we teach that's, I mean, not necessarily going to be necessary for life, but you should have a general concept of. That's what school is supposed to be, a general concept. And then if something piques your interest, that's what you go on to do with your life. But we're not Soviet Russia, so we're not picking kids at, zygote level and going, he's going to be a soldier. He's going to be a scientist. We don't do that. We let you guys figure it out for yourself. So you do need a general understanding of stuff. But yeah, they absolutely overstress the importance of a lot of it. You know how much I've used geometry since I aced that class without even trying?
Probably more than algebra.
Never. I don't use geometry for shit.
No, geometry uses you.
I could not tell you a single fucking thing I learned in geometry. And I did. Geometry on paper just made sense to me. Algebra, I almost flunked. It's the only math class that ever gave me problems. And there is a theory that if you're bad at algebra, you'll be good at geometry. I don't think anybody knows why that happens, but it is a generality that fits. And yeah, I aced that shit without even trying, and don't remember a good goddamn about it.
I was in geometry class when I absolutely should not have been. And by the first week, I was completely lost. So I would draw little tanks out of the trapezoids and stuff.
Yeah.
And create a little story for the teacher. And he'd give me a point for getting my name right.
Thank you, Tallbot, you fucking asshole. Your eye isn't doing any better. You know, to be an asshole while you're asking such a nice thing is impressive. For those of you who don't see the screen, he did it, some of the words or some of the letters capitalized and others not, so it's all fucking rambled and jumbly. Asshole. No,
That's
my
funny.
eye's not better, and I have an appointment to see the optical nerve specialist in what's today? What's today?
Today's Sunday. I'm going into Monday.
What's the date? That's my bad.
It's 25th.
Ooh, it's coming. It's coming. Just over a week away. So I've taken care of it as best I can, but I just can't do anything else. They've given me no like, hey, here, do this to deal with it until then kind of stuff. There's no band-aid for this shit. Most of geometry was basically logic puzzles. Maybe that's why. Yes, it came pretty easy for me. I like logic puzzles, and I'm a very logic-minded person. I suck at art. I really do. And that's why I hated art class, and I always hated going. Things at the community center were always these little art projects for kids, and I sucked at them.
Yeah, I was bad at those too.
I don't do well at that shit. But you give me like, okay, Susie had 6 apples, an actual logic problem, which is basically a word problem trying to trick people. I can do those all day long. I used to sit and do logic puzzles on the phone when I was, we used to talk on the phone, boys and girls. When I was I was on the phone all the time in high school. I'd be sitting there with a friend talking as I was doing logic problems. Logic just makes sense. Make this pretty. I can make it geometry. I'll make the geometry look nice.
I feel very dumb. I was bad at both those things.
You have other strengths.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself too. My mom's always like, "You're special to me."
You're out there. You're out there for America, getting revenge for all the stuff that Southeast Asia and Asia did to us. Thank you. Thank you, Ragnak. Only math I still use is basic trig for bullet art. There you go. Again, there are times for it, but it's not everybody needs that shit. They really don't.
Nah, smart people jobs need them.
Make little escape rooms for little boys. They will love it. Jesus Christ. He's not wrong, is the problem. It's always funny to me when I see a teacher make fun of the Catholic Church. Anyway, was there anything else I really cared about? I don't think so. I don't care about Snoop Dogg and his stupid shit. Oh, did Kelly finally block me, or did she delete that? Oh, she deleted it. Kelly Cardigan was out there trying to fish for attention so she could say people were being mean to her again.
Yeah.
Kelly Cardigan, a trans woman who came out as conservative, and of course everybody ran to it because conservatives are fucking retarded and looking for tokens just as much as Democrats do. And they found their little token tranny. Oops, am I allowed to say tranny?
No, probably not.
Their little token tranny, and they're like, see? And then she came out and went, fuck Republicans. And now she spends all of her time saying horrible shit just to get attention. And this time it was about how twink bottoms just wish that they were getting pounded in the other hole like trans girls are. Shut up. You're a retard. Even you don't wish you had that hole. You wish you had a real one. Anyway, is that wrong?
I don't know. I don't know the rules anymore. Thank you, Travis Gardner. I had to use algebra, Ohm's law mostly, a lot at work, and some geometry when I remodeled kitchens. Had to figure out why a fridge was tripping a breaker intermittently, and there is a formula for figuring loads. Oh, that makes sense. But you have a technical job. I think a lot of people with technical jobs really benefit from that sort of thing, like trades, stuff like that. I don't want an electrician that can't do at least basic math.
Again, there's going to be places that need it, but most people won't. That's all I'm getting at. And those of you who have to use it every day, I actually feel bad for you. I used to keep myself entertained at the machine shop, Jack, doing algebra in my head. Just because I like math. But I don't think I've ever had to use algebra in any of my jobs. Not even at the machine shop. I mean, I just put little widgets into a machine that put holes in those widgets. I wasn't the one figuring out how to make everything work. Thank you, Mr. Dax. Algebra can be useful in everyday life. I mean, you can plan how much you can steal without going over without going over $950. Fair enough. Yeah, that is a basic algebraic equation. Keldrick, thank you so much. Just tuned into the stream, totally off topic, but I saw some weirdo claiming that Anne Frank's diary is fake. Any validity to that idea, or is it some conspiracy nonsense? All right. The diary came from her dad. It's not like Anne Frank. Anne Frank didn't make it out of World War II, guys. So it's not like she published it. I have no trouble believing that was her diary. And I don't know. I just feel like it's a meaningless thing to talk about, even if it was completely made up. It doesn't undermine the story that's being told about this family that's hiding from Nazis. That shit really happened, whether Anne Frank wrote it or not.
Yeah, Anne Frank was a real person. That's verifiable.
Verified. Yeah.
It's written like a child would write of that approximate age. So from that era. So I have no problem believing that it's hers. The fact that there were pages removed, that's a dad trying to clean up his daughter's thoughts so that it wasn't embarrassing or coming off as naughty. It was a different time period. You got to remember, any kind of sexualization stuff would have been edited out anyway, even if the dad didn't pull those pages.
Yeah.
So,
Michael says, spoilers, monkey. What if people hadn't read it? You know, I hear in Canada it's not taught. That's a callback. See what I did there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The child of John Fetterman. Fetterman's
Right?
not smart enough to write like a teenager, so it would mostly be little pictures. It would look like hieroglyphics drawn by a retard.
Look, there's no way to prove it either way. Somebody said that they'd heard it was written in ballpoint pen. I've never heard that. I have no idea.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, it's irrelevant. It's a moot point.
Yeah.
Most likely it is hers, though. It's like people saying that Shakespeare didn't write Shakespeare's plays. It's highly unlikely that somebody else wrote them, and their arguments are full of holes and they're bullshit. So
yeah,
don't waste your time on it. It's likely a nonsense conspiracy theory.
And the reason to go after Anne Frank's diary, I mean, why? Do you think it was just propaganda that shit happened? It really happened. Whether it was her family or not, there were people who were hiding Jews, and then when they were found, they were murdered like all the others were.
Yeah.
So I understand the question, and I mean it's a discussion to have, but I think it's nonsense, just to be honest. I think it's a bunch of people who were on the it wasn't 6 million Jews, it was only 1 million. That makes it a lot fucking better, doesn't it, stupid?
Yeah, well, I mean, there were a lot of homosexuals and political prisoners, members of like secret societies, things like that. So they were executing Freemasons, the gays, and the Jews all at the same time. It doesn't matter what their reasoning for killing these people were. They killed 6 million people. I don't give a fuck about the backgrounds. It's fucking disgusting that they did that to those people in such a horrific, barbaric way. Never should have happened.
No, absolutely not. Anyhow, let's see. This is just a nonsensical argument that I had with a retard who was trying to make the argument. It was an abortion argument, Jack. And their premise was anything that ends a pregnancy, including induced labor, is an abortion. It's an abortion because it ends a pregnancy.
I saw this.
And I point out by that logic, that means giving birth is an abortion because it ends the pregnancy. And like, no, you're not using the words right. Like, really? Don't come at me being pedantic because I can do it better than you. I promise. I'm an asshole from way back, Jack.
Yeah, the long ago, the old timey days.
I was doing this shit before your dad was born. Shut up. What else is going on in the world? I just want to mention this headline. Bidenomics is a godsend for rural America. On what fucking planet? Is there an America on Mars that I'm not aware of?
There might be. That's America too. Martian Boogaloo.
Are you retarded? Yeah, and you know why, Jack? The whole reason that Bidenomics is good for rural areas, they push unions. Unions aren't good for people. Sorry. Everything unions claim that they did, somebody else was already doing, and they jumped on the end of it so they could pretend they actually did some shit. The only thing unions ever did is beat people and steal money. Oh, and protect predators in schools.
Oh, yeah. Real quick, in a sentence I never thought I'd say, thank you, Heinrich Himmler. I beg to differ. Anne Frank's story was published in Canada. It was just a story of a rogue family who refused to support government instruction for the greater good. That's true. It does have a different twist when you look at it from a certain point of view.
Oh, man. All right.
Thank you, Keldrig. Which god sent it? Baal? Moloch? That's a good point.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just retarded. Walmart got you good. No, I hated unions before I ever got to Walmart. It's one of the things that drew me to Walmart. That's a true story, Jack.
Yeah.
I have always hated them. As soon as I found out what they are, I'm like, that sounds like a mob racket. Which
really
it is.
does.
It is.
I am being told in chat that Pyrrhus Creed's sister is pregnant.
Congratulations. That is awesome. Yeah, give my best to your sister. That is amazing. I love babies. You know that.
Yeah.
Don't start me talking about kids. I'll get all gooey.
Yeah.
And not like a teacher gets gooey about kids.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
just the melted heart thing. It for some reason in my recommended, it popped up Marines surprise return visits, and I watched it, and I shouldn't have because I turn into a woman when I watch stuff like that.
Start crying and shit.
I didn't cry. I did not cry.
There's just some tears of happiness.
No tears, Rand. I got misty. I won't lie about that, but I did not cry. But there's this one where the dad comes in. It's at a school, and his daughter's sitting there. She's probably, I don't know, 12 or 14. And they're announcing the guest speaker in the class today, and he walks in, and she's actually sitting there, and all she has to literally just has to turn around to see him and can hug him. And I just went, oh, but they're hugging. He's got his baby girl back. I'm not crying. I swear, I'm not crying.
You know, if you're getting misty, it's crying because it's like saying it's sprinkling outside.
No,
that's still rain.
No, it was warm and my eyes sweated.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it was. You know, I like it
Bubba
warm.
said, damn onion cutting ninjas.
No, I had the space heater up too high and my eyes started sweating. That's all it was.
Yeah, I sweat.
Yeah. So anyhow.
Oh, his sister was having problems conceiving, so they tried in vitro. Yeah, a friend of mine had to do like 8 or 9 sessions of in vitro before it took.
It's awesome. I wish them all the best. I really do.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy that and think of the joy while they're changing diapers while that baby screams at them at 3 a.m.
All right, let's test YouTube's bullshit about as long as you give honest medical information, you can say it. Saw a post that pissed me the fuck off, Jack.
So we're not going to be on here next week. We're going to be a Rumble exclusive.
Probably going to be Rumble exclusive for a little bit. This Maria, I don't fucking know. Get a name. Alexander, MD, said this. A little under 1 in 5 children will get long COVID for 3 months or longer. Once they pass the 3-month mark, it is much less likely they will ever return to their baseline health. Long COVID is a chronic, progressive, and not atypically a lifelong condition. Let's start with that.
Well, how do we know it's a lifelong condition?
COVID's been around for 3 years, and it's not atypically a lifelong condition.
Oh, is it because they get the myocarditis?
It's because they die.
And why is that kid yellow? She got jaundice from this? We don't even have a 5-year study on this, which is typically your baseline, much less a 20-year study, which is where you can really start saying lifelong. Yeah.
But be scared, guys, that your kids are going to die. Now, this next part, Jack, I could have done with algebra, but I didn't. I did it with simple math. I didn't even do this on purpose for this show, Jack, but just to prove simple math can be used to do this.
Oh.
I went out and looked. 1 in 5 is 20%. Keep that in mind. We'll get back to it.
COVID makes you into a Simpsons character.
It does, yes. It turns you into a poo. Let's do some math. 22% of the population are kids 0 to the 8 to 17 to becoming 18.
Okay.
22%. Population's about 330 million. It's 331 million and some change. 22%, that would be the kids, of 330 million, 72 million. You with me so far?
Sure.
72 million kids in the country. That's all you have to know right now.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
20% of 72 million is 14 million. That would be 1 in 5 kids. 14 million. You with me?
Uh-huh.
According to her, 14 million kids will get long COVID. 15 million kids have had COVID. That's it. Only 15 million in that age bracket.
Okay.
So according to her, out of the 15 million that have had it, 14,400,000, that's the actual number, get long COVID. And somehow to her, 14 million out of 15 million is only 1 in 5. I'm not really quite sure how that math worked.
Is she taking just the 15 million number and saying 20%, 25% of them?
If she was trying to say that, it's not what she said.
No, but she doesn't sound real smart, so.
Because 20% of that, fuck, now I got to do math in my head. 10% would be 1.5 million, so 3 million kids. Sounds a lot worse or a lot better than 15 million, doesn't it?
Yeah, but even 3 million, this long COVID thing, I find very suspect.
3 million out of 72 million is what, 0.5?
Yeah.
0.5% are kids. So 1 out of every, what is that? 1 out of every 50? I don't know. I'm doing math out loud now. If I was doing it in just my head, it's a lot easier. My point here being, they're just trying to scare you. They're just trying to scare you. Her numbers are bullshit. Which leads me to one more thing I do want to talk about tonight, Jack. And that is gun violence.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I got to talk about gun violence. Because our president has gotten serious about... I couldn't even say that without laughing. Has gotten very serious about gun violence. And we have a new czar, Jack, a new Nicholas II, who goes by the name Kamala Harris. She's the new czar on gun violence there at the White House. They got a new gun violence commission there, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Like
there
a
is
border one.
Fuck. This is what happens when I haven't done a show in 2 days. That just reminded me of another story I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I want to get this one first. This is Kamala, our new gun czar. She's been tweeting up a storm about this shit, Jack. I don't know if you've seen it. She says 1 in 5 American families has had a family member who died from gun violence. This is not a simple statistic. These are our children, brothers, and sisters, and parents. What, you grandparents? What about them? I'm a grandpa, you bitch. We owe them action by passing reasonable gun safety laws. I will start by reminding you, none of the gun safety laws they ever proposed would have stopped any of the violence that they say we need those gun safety laws for.
And most of them are not reasonable.
Not reasonable at all. Well, they're by definition not reasonable if they won't solve the problem they're supposed to solve. All of them are unreasonable. That's logic. Anyway, this sounds scary. We're back to that 20%, 1 in 5. They love their 1 in 5s. 1 in 5. 1 in 5. All right. This is more meaningless than even most statistics that are used, Jack.
Impressive then.
All right. Little Mary Sue is playing in a Chicago playground. Catches a stray bullet, right?
Not Mary Sue. She's the best at everything. Did she literally catch it?
She right in the temple.
Oh.
So it's a slow weekend in Chicago and Mary Sue dies. Mary Sue has 2 brothers, a mother and a father. Let's say, we'll be reasonable to say 4 aunts and uncles, 4 grandparents, friends. Each of them has friends. Just in that small group, you're going to easily get up to 50 people who knew one person who died. One.
Yep.
So now, oh my God, there's 50 people who knew one person that died. It makes this statistic look so much worse than it is. It's not good, Jack. Like 48,000 people died of gun violence. You guys didn't see it. You might have heard it in my voice, but I just used air quotes. Gun violence. We need to talk about that too. But this makes it, oh my God, if only 1 in 20, or sorry, 1 out of 5, 20%, if it's only 20%, that's actually really good considering how many people one person touches in their daily life.
Judge says I'm not allowed to do that anymore. So
fair enough. In my family, Jack, I have 6 uncles on my dad's side, all of them married. Well, one of them's passed by now, but married. On my mom's side, she had 5 sisters. All of them have had children. All of their children's children have had children. And now we're getting into the generation where their children's children have children.
Yeah.
My mom would be a great grandma if she was still alive. So if just one person in my family was a victim of gun violence, we're over 100 people. One person. Okay, oh my God, 100 people. One person. That doesn't diminish what it does to the families who are affected by it. But what this statistic does is make it sound like, oh my God, 20%. Oh my, there's 300,000 people. That's 72 million people are being killed. No, because it has nothing to do with the number of people being killed. It is a bullshit, meaningless propaganda point. I hate liars, man.
It's mostly a deception, a lie by deception, because like you said, it goes through all your family and friends, and like even people you don't really know, like classmates, that sort of thing. Well, if somebody in your class dies, there's 30 people right there who knew you, at least in a vague sense.
The other part of it is that they use the term gun violence. Notice they don't say gun crime.
No, of course not, because suicides count for the statistics.
And well over half of all gun violence is suicide.
Yeah, or accidental discharges, because they got to pad the numbers, because gun crimes are actually not that many comparatively. Suicide is the big one.
It is. It's I want to say it's 54% is what the latest statistics say are suicides. So well over half are not people being gunned down in the Chicago streets. That's only like a quarter of it.
Yeah.
The majority of it is people who go ahead and take away their gun. They'll find another way to do it. Because you know who typically uses a gun in suicide? Men.
Suicidal people?
Men. You know who typically actually go through with suicide regardless? Men. Yeah. We kill ourselves way too much. But don't worry, guys. We got to make sure girls get better grades in school. Nothing to worry about. Gun violence is the problem. Not mental health issues, you fucking assholes. I'm on
We
a roll.
can't talk about mental health because then we'd have to start looking at other areas of mental health that are bad.
You mean all of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, transgenderism,
Oh shit,
homelessness.
we haven't even talked about Menendez yet. Fuck, how long's it been since I was here?
Like 3 days, dude.
Did you see that New York Post reporter who went to fancy restaurants around New York City dressed as John Fetterman?
Yeah, that was funny.
Dude went all across New York City at the finest restaurants. Only one let him in. All the other ones were like, nah, bro, get out. He was dressed just like John Fetterman. Funny as shit. There was another one I wanted to talk about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Dixie Rose, for that very generous double feminist donation. Doesn't calling Kamala a czar make her Russian, as in commie? That's a good point. Yeah, she is technically a Russian now, and that makes her an enemy of the Ukrainians.
We spell it differently.
I don't care. That's just the fact that Americans don't know how to spell shit. But thank you, Dixie Rose. That is an excellent point. I think the Ukrainians should be a little worried. Maybe the Canadians will loan us that Nazi they're celebrating.
Oh yeah. Get him on board. Make things legit.
Yeah. Speaking of which, did you see Jack Posobiec got put on the hit list for the Ukrainians?
Yeah, they ain't gonna do shit to him.
No. But it's the principle of the matter that we keep giving these people money. They've arrested American journalists and imprisoned them. They still have Coach Red Pill, who is an American citizen, and we haven't done anything about that. And now they're putting American citizens on the hit list. That's pretty fucking gross.
Kanukastani says, I applaud making Kamala the anti-gun czar since she fails at everything. Yeah, look how well she did with the border.
Yeah, she's doing a great job there. I think this is just going to make people buy a lot more guns.
Well, with her in charge, given her stunning victories down there at the border, I feel like we're just going to find guns laying in the street like Hunter Biden had been around.
Right?
Yeah. They'll just be pouring in from Mexico.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't blame anyone that gets a little like, well, time to go purchase a new freedom weapon. Some freedom seeds.
Let's talk about Senator Menendez real fast.
Okay.
Senator Menendez, did you see what's going on with this guy?
Yeah, I made a tweet about it because $400,000 in gold.
Well, yeah. The gold isn't the one that gets me. It's really not, and we will get into it. But Senator Menendez has been charged with taking bribes. Basically, there's a couple of other charges, but basically, he was taking bribes from people. And we're not talking about the normal way of these guys taking bribes or like, I'll donate to your campaign. No, motherfucker is accused of just getting literally handed envelopes of cash. That's the one that got me, Jack.
That's so retro and old school.
This guy beat charges of the same corruption last year when a jury hung because they just didn't push enough. And instead of going again, they were like, all right, hang on, back off. Let's back up and treat this like he was Trump. Now, I do want to say this. There's a lot of Democrats, oh, he should step down. The guy has not been convicted of anything yet. I think he's guilty as fuck, and we'll get into why.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been convicted of anything. And no, I don't think he should step down. I will hold the same view that I hold on other people. He is, by our legal system, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, he's like Blagojevich. You know, he's like, I can make money, but he goes about it the dumbest possible way.
So they raid his house, and as Jazz, I just called you Jazz.
Jazz hands. Woo!
Jazz hands.
You can't see me doing them, but I am.
We can see you do them. Your avatar's kind of doing jazz hands.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. That's probably what made me think of it subconsciously.
Oh,
it was not just my mouth not working with my brain like a Biden.
Nah, that doesn't happen.
I had a Fetterman there for a second and called you Jazz.
And you made too much coherent sense to be a Fetterman.
I didn't go, Jazz.
That's buddy.
So they raid this dude's home. They find $400,000 in gold bars.
Gold. By the way, whoever, I forget who did it. I think Pirates did it. Whoever posted the clip from Austin Powers of a gold member. That was
Mm.
fucking hilarious. I laughed for like 5 minutes.
They also, this is the one that tells me he's guilty. They found literal envelopes stuffed with cash with just his name written across it.
I mean, that's just lazy.
In his own safe, he has envelopes with his, what, he made that envelope out to himself? Oh, I got to remember, this is mine. What the fuck? The dude is taking cash payoffs. He's probably going to go to prison for this, where he probably belongs.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole bunch of people online, the little lefty. We're calling for him to step down. You guys should do that too. No, I'm going to have the same view that I have on people on this side. Now, if this was a substantial child molestation thing, yeah, motherfucker should go and we'll rush in his ass. We'll find a window for him to accidentally fall out of. But one, these little fuckers are all corrupt anyway. He's just more blatant about it, to be honest. But he hasn't been found guilty, and he should not be punished before he's found guilty. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, asking him to step down, maybe they'll want to do that for their saving of face.
That's all they're doing it for.
Yeah, and I get that, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Every politician is corrupt in some regard because they're all scumbags.
They wouldn't be doing this if not for two things, Jack. One, even they know it would be really hypocritical if with all the stuff we've said about Trump. But that would be overridden if it wasn't for the other thing. They know he'll be replaced by a Democrat.
Yeah.
It's the only fucking reason they're doing it. And I told you guys the other day, when it comes to like Fetterman, the upper echelon don't give a shit about Fetterman. They just care that is a blue seat. That's it. That's why they let a fucking retard run for the seat.
Yeah.
They don't care. So if this was a chance of becoming red, to be innocent until proven guilty, they're still fucking hypocrites. You just got to go a little further back in history to see it. So yeah, they get real on their high horse when they know it's not going to affect their majority, Jack. Anyhow, so the last thing I wanted to talk about. And I almost did a stream yesterday. Remember? Okay, so this is what happened yesterday, Jack. You know, but the audience doesn't. I send Jack a DM telling him that I'm not doing the show. And then 10 minutes later, Jack, I'm like, I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
And it was maybe an hour. I sat here, I tried. I really did. And I just can't. So about an hour later, I'm like, all right, we're not doing a show. But this is the one that really pissed me off yesterday. There's been a push, as you know, Jack, to investigate things like the government getting involved in let's call it what it is, censorship.
Yeah.
This is from the Washington Post. Misinformation research is buckling under GOP legal attacks. An escalating campaign led by Jim Jordan and other Republicans. They mentioned Jim Jordan throughout this article. I just took a clip of the top because we're not reading the rest of that shit. But every time they mention it, Jim Jordan and other Republicans. They don't name the other Republicans. This is a smear piece on Jim Jordan. That's all it is.
Course.
But misinformation research is buckling under GOP legal attacks. An escalating campaign led by Representative Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, and other Republicans has cast a pall over programs that study political disinformation and the quality of medical information online. Those bastards.
Sons of bitches. Trying to let people have opinions. Monsters.
This came out on the 23rd. This came out the day before, and actually the information from it came out, I think, about a week before. New docs reveal how DHS argued that they have the authority to censor misinformation. Remember that little misinformation governance board that wasn't supposed to? It was just there to get information.
Yeah.
It's not here. Why do I do these voices?
These are accurate.
We weren't going to do it. It's not a censorship thing. Well, the fine folks over there at Judicial Watch, I think it was. No, it wasn't even Judicial Watch this time. I forget who it was. They filed a Freedom of Information Request Act, Jack,
Like you do.
to find out about all this shit. Like, hey, so what's going on? And they finally got some of the documents heavily redacted.
Shocker.
Heavily redacted. Now, the verifiable reason, the justifiable reasons for redacting information, and the one that they use here is that it's information that could interfere with law enforcement.
Well, that's horrifying.
Which is weird for somebody who wasn't going to be doing anything other than collecting information. How do you block stuff based on it might show how we're prosecuting people if that's not what you were doing with it?
They weren't prosecuting people yet.
Yeah, because they got called out on it before they could, which is entirely their own fault. This would be a thing if it wasn't for who they put in charge. Because the chick they put in charge, I forget her fucking name now, had been out there talking about how we needed censorship. How we needed to, especially to quiet down them damn Republicans.
Yeah.
But, so this information comes out a couple of days ago. And amazingly, the Washington Post just happens to come out with this story about how misinformation research. Can you guys believe that they're trying to shut down this misinformation research? We're just researching. It's just research. We're not going to do anything with it. And it's totally, we're researching everybody the same. By the way, did you know that there's Nazis everywhere?
Literally in Canada.
Literally in Canada.
They're sneaking over the border. They're evil, oozing down like maple syrup.
They get caught red-handed, literally talking about how they have the ability to censor people.
Except for that pesky First Amendment.
They have the legal authority to censor you, which no, they don't. They absolutely 100% do not. But it's in there. Even with the stuff that is redacted, that's in there. And then suddenly the Washington Post comes out defending the misinformation research. That's a little coinky-dinkle.
Little bit.
Huh. Wonder how that happened. Well, I wonder what the fuck led to that. I'm sure these reporters were just sitting around going, Jim Jordan is just so mean to these misinformation researchers. I know, we should get him.
We should go after him because he's censoring our censorship.
Misinformation research sponsored by fact checking. Don't do that when I'm inhaling. Fuck, hang on. Son of a bitch, I gotta stop reading chat when I'm inhaling. All right. Jack, we're gonna wrap up. Were there any of these that you were really, I'm sorry, I know we've been gone for days, so and I've talked way too much. I've missed you guys. This really is. I love doing this. I literally wouldn't be here tonight, Jack, if I didn't love doing this. There are nights I'm like, I got nothing better to do. I'll do a show. This is like, you know what? I should probably be in bed right now. But I enjoy this and I've missed it. And unfortunately, sometimes stuff gets backed up on it. We're going to have people come in here. You didn't talk about X. Like, I know I was gone for a few days. I apologize. We can't hit everything. But are there any of those that you really wanted to hit?
No, because they're interconnected. So we'll have to hit them next time.
All of these are interconnected?
No, there's two of them, two stories that have two articles each that are interconnected.
You know what? I just opened the first one. Yeah, we're not doing that tonight. I am pissed right now.
I know.
Let's end this on a good note then. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Really, really do appreciate it. Bubba, you around? You want to play? I know he was just here, but some people, okay, Bubba's good people. He doesn't leave till the song. Remember, guys, never leave till the song because the show's not over and it could end up. What's the longest we've gone after I've said we're ending the show? Like 2 hours?
Yeah, right around there.
Very glad you logged on tonight. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you coming. And you know what? That's how I end this anyway. Seriously, I appreciate y'all coming. It's been I missed 2 full days, and I don't do that very often unless I have a scheduled vacation. And I really do. I miss this when I'm not here. I love the sound of my own voice. Is that wrong?
Maybe.
I've been doing see, this is one of those times we're going to go a little bit longer. I've been doing a lot of self-reflection probably last week, Jack.
Why?
One, I'm prone to it. But two, with all of the medical issues and stuff, it just gets me thinking about me. Mistakes I've made in my life, like my fucking horrible eating habits, smoking, not being active enough. And just leads to greater self-reflection. Now, I've sat here a lot just thinking about mistakes that I've made. Would I make them again? And if I'm being honest, I would, because everything leads to where you are, and I wouldn't change where I are. Unless somebody's like, you could have everything you have right now, family, friends, all that. Just you have $20 million on top of it. All right, I'll take that deal. That's fine. And Satan, I know the way you are. I've seen Oh God movies, so don't try it. Don't pop up on me with some contract where I got to read the fucking fine print. But as I was thinking about all that, I'm like, I am so self-absorbed. I really do love talking about myself. I really do love hearing the sound of my own voice. I really do love me. I'm like, I'm not sure if that's good or not with what society tells me.
I don't make the rules, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I am not one to judge you, monkey.
As self-absorbed as
Not
I am,
live
though,
on the air.
I still try to be, charitable and kind and treat others with respect and all that. But I'm still self-absorbed. It doesn't change it. Monkey self-absorbed. Nah, I know. I do think it's important to know yourself. I really do. And if you've never sat down and just thought about yourself, you really should. This is what those dumbass hippies call, I need to find myself. So I got to go backpacking across Europe where they don't expect me to take a bath.
That's pretty much it.
No, you don't need to go do that shit. You just sit in your home and turn off the fucking television and think. Try it sometime. It's actually good.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of extra steps. I'm just going to sit here and be awesome.
Well, the truth of the matter is, even if you do know, if you're really honest with yourself, and I try to be, and I could tell you guys stuff and you can judge me whether I'm honest or not. I just told you I'm fucking conceited. I mean, and I say it all the time. That's not a joke. It's true. But even if you know flaws, and I don't necessarily find my conceit to be a flaw, but I am prone to laziness. That's a flaw. And even knowing your flaws doesn't mean you'll always fix them. But it does help to be aware of them. Just today is like, I should go lay down. Like, no, I should get my fat ass up. I've been doing nothing for a week now. Get my fat ass up and go do something. I went outside. It was beautiful out today, Chad. It was gorgeous out. Well, it could have been 10 degrees warmer for me, but it was good for everybody else. So it was nice. Gentle breeze blowing. The fall leaves are changing their colors and starting to fall. And it looks pretty until you have to clean that shit up. It's like snow.
Oh, yeah, very true.
All those falling leaves, it's like it's the precursor to snow. It's like, oh, look how pretty. Why is all this shit in my yard? But yeah, lots of self-reflection. And I was like, I should do a show where I just talk all about me.
We'll call it the modesty stream.
It actually would be. It actually would be. You'd be surprised to hear a lot of my opinions of myself. Because as good as I think I am, I know I have flaws. And sometimes it helps people to hear that other people are that way. I saw somebody the other day, some dude who did a song. It's a really interesting song. It's a rap song. He's never going to blow up like Tom McDonald with the stuff he's doing, but it was an interesting song. And he finishes it off by saying, I'm like everybody else. I'm paraphrasing. I'm like everybody else. I talk all this shit, but I don't really change it. I don't really do anything. I don't change stuff. Like you got to get up and go out and chant in the street or some shit like that actually changes anything. We hear that a lot around here. I don't know how much you've heard it, but lots of people have told me, all you do is talk. That's fair.
That's kind of what we do, though. That's our job.
Except it's not. Except it's not. Do you
Well,
remember Mike
it's gonna be
Harlow?
hard to pantomime since we have avatars.
Remember Mike Harlow? You know Mike.
Yeah.
Mike is one of the people who listened to me and has changed his mind. We may not be out there in the streets, Jack, or going knocking on doors, getting signatures for votes or stuff, but getting your voice out there and heard can change minds. It actually does. Everybody? No. Of course, most people are entrenched. But just the small, you can, even affecting a few people is a change. And now Mike's out there actually doing the work. It is what you do the work, go out there. He was at an event the other day. They had invited him to come speak about the child abuse going on with children in our country. I was part of that. So, yeah, I'm just sitting in my basement talking, Jack, but that doesn't mean things don't change. That is just an easy way to try to shut people up.
Very true.
Are there some fucking hypocrites like, I don't know, Hassan, who doesn't actually believe what he says? Absolutely. But even he's changed minds. You can tell me there's not 14-year-olds that haven't turned into little commies because of that fucking retard?
Sadly.
His audience is like 14 to 16. And that's being generous, actually. We didn't watch that video, did we? I sent it to you offline. Where Sneeko met his audience.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That fucking idiot Sneeko, we've talked about him before. He ran into some of his fans, and what were they, Jack? 10?
They were like 10 to 12.
Just making the most outlandish statements. And not being edgy for their little hero, but repeating the kind of stupid shit he says. People who do what we do, you have an effect. And you guys do too. Just talking with your friends and family, you can change minds.
Just talking in the chat, you could convince people.
Don't let people tell you that talking isn't really doing anything. Fuck you. Yes, it is. Fuck you. I've seen it. I've done it. Fuck off. Okay, maybe I'm not as modest as I think.
No, what?
No, I mean, again, lots of self-reflection on stuff. And I really do enjoy it. And I think people would be happier if they did it more to themselves. You just got to be honest about it as well. Don't put that evil on me, monkey. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. Jack, anything you want to shell out?
No, I haven't been able to finish fucking anything today.
I gave you 2 days off.
I know, and I've been busy.
I get. Speaking of it, how's Dad doing?
He's doing about the same.
I mean, that's better than worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's just having problems getting around. He's got to do physical therapy, and that's creating a bit of a mess.
I imagine.
So, because now I have 2 people that need pushed around or help walking, I should say.
Fair.
So that kind of doubles the load and burden. So, yeah, I just mowed their lawn today, and I was exhausted.
Well, for me,
so
and I'm
fat
sure
and out of shape.
For me, and I'm sure everybody in chat, man, all the best. I hope he recovers quickly. I really, really do.
Yeah, he's on the road. It's just slow going because he's so old.
Sure. Strap your mother to your back. Yeah, treat her like Yoda.
Yeah. She's a small woman, so she probably could get dressed up like Yoda and yell at me.
Get yourself a backpack, put mom in it, and do a front flip with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
in a swamp.
My fat ass ain't flipping anywhere. What are you talking about?
That's not a
cut
flip.
my own arm off.
I fell. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be over on Ranting Monkey Games here in just a little bit, doing some ghost hunting with my partner in crime over there, Bubba Hotep. Come hang out with us. It's always a lot of fun. And it's one of those things because we don't have topics here, Jack, but there is kind of a structure. Yeah, we get off top, but most of the time there's a story or something going on in the world that we're talking about. Over there, it's the video game, plus I just have to fill time. So even I don't know what the fuck gets said half the time. It's a lot of fun. Come hang out. Ranting Monkey Games right here on the YouTubes or over there on the YouTubes if you're on Rumble right now. And I have looked in, eventually maybe we will do that on dual streaming. I don't know if my satellite can handle that, but we'll see what happens with that. Ladies and gentlemen, Thanks for joining us, Jack. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are. I don't give a shit. Have a wonderful. How come nobody just says that? Have a wonderful.
Because it's a fragment sentence with no subject. Have a
Not if
wonderful what?
that is your subject.
No, the subject would be wonderful is not a noun, so it's not.
It can be used as a noun. I've been using Fetterman as a noun.
No, Fetterman means retard, which is a noun.
Fetterman is a proper noun, and I have used it as just a general noun.
No,
you didn't yell at me for that.
Sure, you pulled a Fetterman. I'm pretty sure that's in the language now. That's in the lexicon.
Damn English people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I haven't sung you a good song in 2 days, or 5 years for that matter. Why do you listen to this shit?